Microphones are on. Mayor, you're ready.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6:02. For the record, all members of council are present. Staff is present. And I believe we have Stephanie from HLA joining us online and Julie Norton, our city attorney. Okay, I would like to proceed, council members, with the agenda approval. There are a couple amendments to the agenda that are going to be moved from today's meeting to either another date or they've just been completely pulled. One of them is the council roles and responsibilities. I believe, Jackie, you asked Mr. Quinn Plant to do the training on Monday, March 2nd. So instead of having it today, he will be back to do the training the first Monday of March. And after talking to the city manager, interim city manager, Mr. Bridges, we are pulling Heath Anderson's employment agreement from today's agenda. I'd like to entertain a motion. What is the desire of council?
Per the recent rules and procedures, also, there was no two sections for public comment. We're supposed to have the section for the beginning public comment, then towards the end. I mean, I'm okay with today going as is, but for the next time.
Is that you asking to pull that?
Do you remember the
Yeah,
amendment?
that was in the rules and procedures that we voted in
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's not on today's agenda. Is that something that council wants to motion to add, or do we want to wait until the following?
And can we wait till the following meeting?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Not opposed? Okay, without objection. We'll go ahead and wait for that item. Jackie, can we make sure we put it on the next agenda?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So,
I'll make a motion to approve the changes to the agenda.
got a motion by Deputy Mayor Hart,
Awesome.
and the second by Councilmember Galvan. All four say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Okay. Next item on the agenda is invocation. Do we have someone here for invocation? Counselor Vasquez?
I'll volunteer to do it this time around.
Okay, so Counselor Vasquez will lead us in invocation. If you would want to stand up for invocation, that is completely okay. If you're able to stand up for invocation, that is completely okay, but nobody is forced to do so.
Okay, so Father God, we just give you thanks for this moment. We give you thanks for another day of life, for this beautiful day that you have given us the privilege to be here today in this moment. I pray over our first responders. May you continue to accompany and protect them at every place that they are in this city. Father God, just protecting our city and doing what's good. And I just pray for the city of Sunnyside, and I pray for everyone who is here currently, and I pray for the full council. May we continue to do what's correct before the best interests of our community, and may we continue to just put our foot forward and continue to just progress and bring the city to do good things. And we just thank you for everything that you do. We thank you for your love. We thank you because you're a good, good Father. In the name of Jesus, we pray and say amen.
Amen. Please continue standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on with the exciting part of today's agenda is police and fire department swearing in. And Jackie, you're gonna lead that? Okay.
Can I please have Kodiak Ashley and Jacob Olmsted come up front?
Do solemnly swear or affirm
That I am a citizen of the United States
that I am a citizen of the United States
and of the state of Washington,
and of the state of Washington,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Washington,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Washington,
and the ordinances of the city of Sunnyside,
and the ordinances of the city of Sunnyside,
that I will abide by the code of ethics and conduct
that I will abide by the code of ethics and conduct
as set forth in the policy manual,
as set forth in the policy manual,
and will to the best judgment,
and will to the best judgment,
skills, and abilities,
skills, and abilities,
truly, faithfully, and impartially
truly, faithfully, and impartially
perform the duties of the position
perform the duties of the position
of peace officer
of peace officer
in and for the city of Sunnyside,
in and for the city of Sunnyside,
Yakima County,
Yakima County,
state of Washington,
state of Washington,
as such duties are prescribed by law.
as such duties are prescribed by law.
Is option for the city. Okay, congratulations.
Okay, Officer Olmsted is gonna be pinned with his badge by his wife Delaney and his daughter Freya.
Oh,
Oh, goody. There you go. Pretty baby. Little cheeks. That's a bunch of squeeze. Oh.
And Officer Ashley is gonna be pinned by his girlfriend Carly.
Can I please have Michael Henyon come forward? Sorry, I didn't say his name. So. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Michael Henyon,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States of America,
to support the Constitution of the United States of America,
state of Washington,
the state of Washington,
and to discharge faithfully
and to discharge faithfully
the duties of a firefighter paramedic
the duties of a firefighter paramedic
for the city of Sunnyside
for the city of Sunnyside
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability,
and ability,
and to hold myself to the highest moral
and to hold myself to the highest moral
and ethical standards
and ethical standards
as a representative
as a representative
of the Sunnyside Fire Department and this profession.
of the Sunnyside Fire Department in this profession.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And with the pinning for firefighter paramedic, my opinion will be his wife, Justine.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.
Right. Did I tell you I went to a training with these guys?
Oh, no.
Yeah, last year.
Oh.
It's treacherous. Okay. Okay, I guess another round of applause for the newly pinned. Yes, welcome to the team. All right, so next on our agenda is another swearing-in ceremony. It's a ceremonial swearing-in ceremony for Councilmember Chavez. Councilmember Chavez, I believe the city clerk is going to help set you up, and you have asked of someone from the community to come and participate in this very special moment. Oh,
See, gathering at the troops. It's smaller.
yeah, that's
Love that.
Okay, so just a few words about Ramon. So my name is Angelina Aguilar. A lot of you know me as Benji, or some of you do. I see a lot of young faces that I don't know me at all, but the older people know me. So just wanted to, I was a former council member and also good citizen Sunnyside for the council. So I love Sunnyside. I've always been part of advocating for the goodness of Sunnyside, positive things. And I'm gonna thank you, Ramon, for allowing me this great honor. It's such a great honor, ceremony to bring you into office. Before I do this, I just want to share something about Ramon. So I know Ramon since he was about in his 20s. He worked at Fashion Corner with me. You guys know Fashion Corner still. So he worked there with me. He has a twin brother that looks identical to him. Hard to tell them apart.
I'm the better.
Yeah. Yeah, this is true. He's a very good young man and so charismatic with all the customers that came into the store. I remember how sincerely he cared about the needs of the customers. He really impacted me in customers. And of course, we're still being good looking all the way in the one. So I'm so proud of his work accomplishments. He volunteers a lot of you know him, and he coaches. He does a lot of service in his community. But that doesn't surprise me at all. His attitude towards helping others find success is admirable. And I'm so grateful for the strong and courageous community representative he has become. Congratulations, Ramon, and good luck to you.
Oh.
Right hand, man? Okay. Item Chavez,
Ramon Chavez,
being first duly sworn upon oath,
being first duly sworn upon oath,
depose and say
depose and say
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the laws and Constitution of the State of Washington,
the laws and Constitution of the State of Washington,
and the ordinances of the City of Sunnyside,
and the ordinance of the City of Sunnyside,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of this office
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of this office
on which I am about to enter.
on which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Congratulations.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and pause for a moment as folks step out. I believe there's cake and ice cream. Oh, I don't know about ice cream, but okay.
There you go. There's cake, there's always ice cream.
Vicky, yell them ice cream now.
Huh?
Yell them ice cream now.
They're gonna come and protest
Se van a ir con el
when they
antojo.
find out there's no ice cream.
There's our ice cream. Look, I'll settle for cake. Does that mean we?
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. Oh, okay. So blue is regular, yellow. Okay, nobody for a public hearing. Okay.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Can I get brownies?
So, good turnout. Oh,
Thank you, thank you. Starting to recognize people.
Oh, there's.
yeah. It's his mom. Yeah. Yeah. She's not doing too well. Yeah.
Oh, they did it.
Should I have some?
Oh, I just wanted to.
See, now it's, looks like it's all charged up. Let me see, what is that one you said? Oops, that's not the one I want. I want this one.
Use the mouse. So you're at 100 now.
Well, thank you so
Let's try it out.
Okay, if it works.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see how she goes. I'll keep an eye on it. And we're all in the hotspots. So we're all good there. But I was on that Whiting card from 1:30 to, I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
So almost 3:30. Yeah, that's 2 action meetings, but anyway, it just dropped me. I was on a Zoom and it just dropped me and I guess.
Yeah, it's a big
I think that's
family.
what
You have a big family too. You guys have a big family.
Huge.
2 hours is a long meeting, so
Yeah.
it just.
I
But
don't.
I did, and I had.
No, my dad.
Your
So,
electrical plug in the.
From Mexico.
well, I gotta wonder about that. Check that out too.
His dad kind of was the one to get all the women pregnant in Pueblo.
You have a 40-year-old?
He was just
Oh my
like,
goodness.
"Ask my brothers and sisters."
Okay, are they gonna be there much longer?
Where does she live?
Married my mom. My mom was born here in the United States in North Dakota. My mom's parents.
Now we can do lunch. Did you tell her?
They only had 4 kids. And those, they only had like 4 kids to
What'd
like
you say
each.
her occupation was?
All my family lives in Twin Cities. Like they all live like in Richland.
Yeah, she went.
I have a lot of my mom's side of the family that live in like.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
I remember that.
And fellow, my mom's side of the. Did she graduate from
Yeah.
Sunnyside? A lot of them.
No, she graduated with her mom.
And a lot of mine, that I say, was a fellow.
Oh, okay. It's crazy because like from my dad, I have no, like nothing.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I mean? And then from my mom, just like more feel, like cousins. But me and my sister are the youngest. out of,
Are
like,
they all done?
so I don't have like
Nope.
family.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
quinceañera.
No,
Oh,
it's
I guess
crazy.
it could be a good thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
But we know like a lot of people, you know. so-
Yeah. That's
Really good.
See my tie?
Oh, that's cool. I like it.
From my mom.
Oh.
'Cause she had she's in remission now for breast
Are
cancer.
we ready?
My dad, I was gonna get a
Right.
Let's wrap us.
burgundy one because he
we
has
start calling
aplastic
people back?
anemia, which is, that's kind of theirs, but he's in Seattle right now for
Okay.
treatment.
Wrap us.
All right. I think we got the pictures taken. Ramon, all the pictures have been
I
taken?
think so.
Okay. We don't want to miss them.
Okay, here we go. You can use it.
Okay, then we can go ahead and thank you, Ms. Aguilar, for being here with us once again. And thank you for your service to this community. So now we will proceed with public comment. And thank you, Ms. City Clerk, for passing over the public comment sign-up sheet. First up on our list is Vicky Ripley.
Say it louder, Maria.
Hey.
Hi, my name is Vicky Ripley. I'm from Sunnyside. And here Sunnyside is in the news again. Does the climate resiliency, do they go by the Roberts Rules of Order? Do they abide by that? I know you can't answer me. If so, after point of privilege was called, Chair should have stopped all comments and talked about the point of privilege. And I want to thank all the employees who came to the last executive meeting, January 16th, 2026, in support of Jim Bridges. I'd sure like to hear all their stories. There was quite a few people there. Jim has done more for this town than the last 2 city managers. He cares for Sunnyside. He has lived here for how many years? At least 30. And he cares for it. And Monica Hofstetter, where do I start? Finance is her world. Thank you, Jim, for hiring her. Her honesty and love of finance is a breath of fresh air. She's getting things done. Our last HR and finance person, whatever, did nothing the whole time they worked here. I'll leave this part out. Thank you, Jim, for letting them go. And HR cost us a fine from the insurance company. It was either $30,000 or $32,000. The insurance paid for it, made our premiums higher. And how much did Jim save us on the lift station on Midvale? Jim knows public works inside and out. He's helped Sunnyside a lot. Jim makes the time for you. The last city manager had to have his entourage with him for a meeting. Jim doesn't. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ripley. Next up on our list is Jim Stevens.
Takes a while to straighten up. Jim Stevens from Sunnyside. Wanted to commend the council. There were some really impressive things that went on at the last public meeting. I think one was selection of Jim Bridges to just kind of to repeat what she just said. And again, he has a lot of experience. And as I had mentioned once before, our communities in, as you probably know by now too, we have some real problems. And he's somebody that's going to be able to help us keep our budget going in the right direction, help us dig out of this problem, and help you. You have, as I said before, you guys have a major job ahead of you. And we really want to support you and help you out any way we can. And I really think that your first selection here, and also the comment that the mayor said that may not have voted for Jim, but she's going to be behind him 100%. And I thought that was very large. I think that's how you build a team. And I think that hasn't existed in the council and the city for quite a while. And it actually all starts right here, building the team inside not just the council chambers, but also inside City Hall. And teamwork is just going to be imperative. Look at Yakima Herald had an article today or yesterday about the motel out here, the Sandstone or something like that. And it's a major problem. We have 3 motels that have been a major problem to our businesses, and they have had severe damage. I know the Valley Auto, it was crippling. Their insurance went up, et cetera. And there's other business surrounding there that have had the same problem. And so these are things, who wants to move to Sunnyside if your business is going to be attacked like that? And so again, here's a place where we need to support the chief. We just have some great new officers here in our fire department as well. And this is going to be a support for them. That they need that. These folks are just starting out in their lives. And so they're going to really need to depend on our council to help them out, help our community out to negate the negative things that are going on with these motels and the people that are living there. And I've watched those. That restaurant right next door, that poor guy just got inundated. I don't know if he's selling out. He's going to leave because of it. So we really want to help our business community. That's going to help our community thrive. And just wanted to bring these things up. And again, congratulations on your choice of Jim Bridges. I think it's going to help us out a lot. Thanks.
Thank you. Next on our list, and the final public comment goes to Diana Gutierrez.
Hello, everybody. My name is Diana Gutierrez, and I'm a resident of Sunnyside. I'm here today to share that I'm organizing a free community yard sale here in Sunnyside on Saturday, February 21st, at Complete Wellness on Edison Avenue from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I want to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to the Sunnyside community and neighboring communities for the outpouring of support, donations, messages, and willingness to help. The response has been incredibly encouraging and really reflects the heart of this community. I'd also like to thank Madam Mayor Vicky Frosto for sharing my post across social media. That doesn't go unnoticed. And I also want to thank Councilor Galvan for generously offering his business, the CDL School, as a drop-off location. That's also very much appreciated. Additionally, I want to give a sincere thank you to the City Hall staff, Debbie and Corey, for being so diligent and responsive and helping me navigate the permitting process. I want to warmly invite all members of City Council and all of Sunnyside residents to attend. At the moment, I have a flyer circulating on social media, and I'll be sure to email that flyer to all council members following this meeting. Thank you all for your time, and I hope to see you all there as we come together to support one another. So that's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think.
Yeah. Are you guys okay? Is there an objection from Ms. Dolan to approach?
Problem with it.
No? I think there's an objection from maybe your husband.
Mr. Dolan has an objection.
Go ahead.
You want to write a name on
Yeah.
that?
No dinner.
So last week, there was a meeting for the Climate Resiliency Board. And the November, December, and the January meeting, if you watched them, they were not real professional. The the last 3 months, nothing appears to have been accomplished. We were paying Joseph from HLA to come down and present things at those meetings, and nothing is being accomplished. Committee members are attacking each other, which is embarrassing. If I was a business wanting to come to this town and I watched meetings, they watched social media, and to watch something like that, it was incredibly embarrassing. The real issue, however, is the SMCs. The city violated the code when they appointed non-residents to those boards and commissions. So if you're going to allow this kind of behavior at a meeting, and I think that a chair of the meeting should attend the meeting, especially since the last 3 have been so volatile. And if they have health issues and are not well enough to do that, someone else should be appointed. The code states they're residents. It doesn't state you have a business. You need to be a resident. There's 3 people on boards and commissions that do not live here. And you need to follow the rules that you set or change those rules. Because right now, you're not in compliance with the Sunnyside Municipal Code. And this has been a problem for years. It's part of the problem why the finances are the way they are, because you don't follow the rules. So hopefully you guys can all work together and get all of this stuff updated, because it's really embarrassing.
Are we able to ask for feedback from Julie on SMCs?
You can.
Julie, are you on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
Julie, could you, do you have the SMC around committees, commissions and boards? And if there is anything around businesses
Residency requirements.
for residency requirements?
I am pulling it up right now. Let's see, 250 is your code for citizen advisory boards.
Yeah, would you mind reading that into the record?
Look. Okay. Says 2.50.050 residency requirements. Residency in the city is a requirement for eligibility for membership on citizen advisory boards and commissions, except for membership on boards or commissions with other political jurisdictions which require membership outside of the city, and boards and commissions which expressly permit non-resident membership, provided that a person who no longer maintains legal residence in the city may, at the discretion of the city council, complete the term for which he or she was appointed. And it goes on, the mayor or deputy mayor, in the absence of the mayor, may appoint a non-resident in those cases where special expertise is required or there is no qualified applicants from city residents. Unless otherwise provided, no advisory board or commission may contain a majority of non-resident members. And I believe with your climate resilience, the last appointment, if I remember, was made with this exception allowed because you did not have any applications from anyone within the city. But by default, your rules are that they should be a city resident.
Is there anything about having business in the city?
There's nothing about having business in the city.
So they have to be a resident.
They have to be a resident.
Okay. Thank you for reading that into the record.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and move forward with the consent agenda. So approve minutes of the previous meetings. And payroll vouchers. Approve payroll voucher numbers 101 through 775 and wire transfers as listed for $1,097,159.16 for the period ending January 26, 2026. C, claim vouchers. 1, approve claim voucher numbers 365 through 646 and wire transfers as listed for $2,032,342.99 for the period ending on January 22nd, 2026. And attached individual detailed reporting is included. That was probably for me. Okay, council members, do you all have any questions before we move on to motion? Would you like to pull any items?
I think Counselor Owens.
I'm looking on the B,
Counselor Dolan?
on item B, it has December 31st, 2025. That's just a typo?
And would that go to? Jackie, are you talking about the minute or are you?
First 2025, yes, it's from
Yeah.
that date. That's the beginning date, December 31st, 2025.
Number one says on payroll vouchers, number one, approve payroll vouchers number 15523 through 16166 and wire transfers as listed for 1,336,391.79 for the period ending December 31st.
I think you're looking at the previous meetings, you're looking at the previous minutes.
It's the right one. Oh, shit. Strike that.
Okay.
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Deputy Mayor Hart and second by Councilmember Vasquez. Okay. Is there any debate? Any other questions? Okay. All in favor to approve the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Here we go.
Moving on to active agenda. Item A, preliminary plat of Columbia Heights Phase 2 and 3. Close record hearing and approval. Receive public comment and consider approving a resolution regarding the approval of the preliminary plat of Columbia Heights Phases 2 and 3. So now we will be going into public hearing. I'm going to go ahead and read this aloud. This public hearing is being held to receive public comments and recommendations concerning Planning Commission's recommendations on the preliminary plat of Columbia Heights Phases 2 and 3. The concern is that this hearing be fair in form and substance as well as appearance. Council members, do any of you have a conflict of interest concerning this issue? Do any of you stand to gain or lose any financial benefit as a result of the outcome of this hearing? If your answer is yes, please speak now. Council members, can you hear and consider this in a fair and objective manner? If your answer is no, please speak now. Audience members, is there anyone in the audience who objects to my participation or any other council member's participation in these proceedings? If there are objections, please approach the microphone, state your name and city of residence, and state your objection. Okay, as soon as we open the hearing, Ms. Soto. So the time is now 6:40 and the public hearing is now open. You can go ahead and approach the podium.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. City Manager is gonna move on to present the documents.
One moment. I'm going to ask Mr. Joseph Calhoun from HLA to prepare the presentation.
There was no one on the list.
No.
But Tony.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Joseph Calhoun, HLA. As stated, this is for your consideration of the preliminary plat of Columbia Heights Phases 2 and 3, which was initially submitted on July 9th, 2025, with additional documents being submitted between July 31st and September 15th, 2025. This proposal is for a 36-lot subdivision of approximately 9.36 acres in the R1 zone. The property is located in the vicinity of Columbia Avenue and Lander Court. The plat of Columbia Heights Phases 2 and 3 underwent a public process, which included a public comment period, issuance of a State Environmental Policy Act mitigated determination of non-significance, and an open record public hearing with the Planning Commission. That hearing was held on December 9th, 2025, and at the end of the hearing, the commission deliberated and recommended approval of the plat subject to conditions as outlined in the staff recommendation. In accordance with the municipal code, today's date was set for final council action after this closed record public hearing. And after the hearing, you'll be asked to approve a resolution adopting the findings of the Planning Commission and approving the preliminary plat of Columbia Heights Phases 2 and 3. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I have a question. Do you have any maps available so we can see where the zoning's at?
There are maps available in the packet. All the surrounding property is zoned R1. So not only the vacant land subject to this proposal, but to the north, south, east, and west is all R1.
Okay. Any person in the audience wishing to be heard on this matter, please approach the microphone, state your name and address, and offer your testimony. And I believe we had someone. Oh,
Mayor?
there you.
Just a quick clarification. This is a closed record public hearing. No new testimony may be presented.
I believe she didn't show up in time, or didn't see the notice, because there are two notices up on the
There were
podium.
two. Yeah.
Okay.
So
And is there objection?
No?
I would just wanted to
Okay.
ask a question. Yes, I'm wondering if they're going to be fixing that road going up on the hill, the side of the hill. It's all broken up, as they're pulling out the dirt from the very end, they're breaking the street. And it's a pretty big hole down there. So I'm just wondering if they're going to fix it, because that's the way I go up and down the hill.
Mr. Mejia?
What was that?
I can look at that tomorrow, and then if I could have your email, or number, I'd be happy to address it with you.
I live on West Grandview, but I come down that way.
Okay.
And that hole on the side scares me because it's too big. And if I move to the other side, I'll be on the other side of the.
I'd be more than happy to go take a look at it and address it for you.
Thank you. And by the way, my name is Tony Soto, and I am from Sunnyside.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you for putting that into the record, Ms. Soto. Audience members, it doesn't seem like there's anybody else on the list who are wishing to make any comments regarding this matter. Council members, any questions? Councilmember Dolan.
I just had a comment. I live across the street from this development, and I've seen the work that is done by Moon Construction. I think that this is a fabulous contribution to Sunnyside, and the dirt work they're doing, I've watched it happen. I've been in construction most of my life, and I see that they're doing everything pretty well, close to perfectly right. And I really appreciate them doing this.
Councilmember, any more comments?
Yeah, so for me,
Vasquez?
I just want to say thank you for the huge public notice sign out there. I see it on the photos, so just thank you for having that out there for the public to have something to read and to know that something is moving forward now. That's it.
There being no additional comments from the public or council, let the record show that the public hearing is now closed and the time is 6:45. Thank you. Okay, so, we get a motion? Okay. What is the desire of council on this item?
I move to approve Planning Commission's
Recommendation?
recommendation.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Dolan, second by Deputy Mayor Hart. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Good job.
Okay, item B. SMC 16.20.104, amendment, public hearing and adoption. Receive public comment and consider adopting an ordinance regarding the amendment of Sunnyside Municipal Code 16.20.104 related to flag lots. I don't read this into. Okay, reading this into the record again. This public hearing is being held to receive public comments and recommendations concerning Planning Commission's recommendation on proposed changes to SMC 16.20.104. The concern is that this hearing be fair in form and substance as well as appearance. Council members, do any of you have a conflict of interest concerning this issue? Do any of you stand to gain or lose any financial benefit as a result of the outcome of this hearing? If your answer is yes, please speak now. Council members, can you hear and consider this in a fair and objective manner? If your answer is no, please speak now. Audience members, is there anyone in the audience who objects to my participation or any other council member's participation in these proceedings? If there are objections, please approach the microphone, state your name and city of residence, and state your objection. So the time is 6:48 p.m. and the public hearing is now open. The city manager will provide staff report on this item.
Thank you. I will again invite Joseph Calhoun to speak to this matter.
Hello again, for the record, Joseph Calhoun, HLA. As stated, this proposal is to draft changes to the Municipal Code 1620-104 flag lot short subdivisions. A flag lot is essentially a component of the subdivision process where one lot is split into two, with one of the lots being adjacent to the roadway and the second lot being behind it with access or a driveway creating the flag to that rear lot. Currently, the city only allows this type of subdivision process in the R2 and R3 zones via the short plat process, which is 9 lots or fewer. The Columbia Heights action that just was passed is a long plat, which is 10 or more lots. So the proposed text amendment is intended to extend the ability to create flag lots in all zones where residential uses are allowed to be subdivided. And it also provides that the flag lot process can be proposed under both a short and long plat process. The Planning Commission held an open record public hearing on December 9th, 2025 to consider the proposal and issued its recommendation for approval. Tonight's council action is to consider the recommendation of the Planning Commission and pass the ordinance amending Municipal Code 1620-104. And I'd be happy to answer any questions on this. Thank you.
Okay, audience members, any questions or comments on this item? I didn't see anybody signed up on the sheet. I don't know if anybody missed it and wants to approach the podium. Council members, any questions or comments on this item?
I
Go ahead,
just
Deputy Mayor.
want for it, this actually, by making this change to the municipal code, will actually make it a little bit easier for short platting or long platting. I'm not sure the terminology there.
Well, it opens up the process to either short plat or long plat. Currently, the flag lots are only allowed in the short plat and only allowed in the R2 and R3 zones. So this opens up the zoning districts that it's allowed in. And also it can be a component of either a short plat or a long plat rather than only a short plat.
So there's so there's flexibility built into this particular change. Is that something we want?
I believe so, and the Planning Commission's recommendation was to that effect.
Councilmember Sasati?
Because it would benefit in what way?
Because rather than the flag lots only being allowed in 2 different zoning districts and only allowed as a short plat, now it would be allowed in all zoning districts and under either short plat or long plat, which again, the short plat is 9 lots or fewer, a long plat is 10 or more. So it just provides more flexibility and opportunity for this type of lot configuration to occur.
Councilmember Dolan.
Does this apply to commercial I understood it was just, for 3, 2, and 1.
Just residential is the way that this is being proposed.
Councilmember Vasquez?
Yeah, so having read just all the amendments that the planning commission made, I do see that they removed a lot of the wording and terminology in a lot of sections here, and they updated it all in green. And from the looks of it, it seems like it's not really going to be restricting any future projects. If anything, it's just kind of opening another door and some more access, if that's what I'm picking up on.
Right. And the way I've seen flag lots used in a typical short or long plat, it's usually, you know, around a corner. If there's a larger lot at the end of a cul-de-sac or around a corner in a roadway, that could benefit from, you know, additional density through this flag lot process. That would allow, you know, just additional lots to be created. The way the code reads, all underlying zoning requirements are still applicable. So lot size, lot width, lot coverage, setbacks, all those things will still apply. There's also language in the proposed code that would require fire code standards to be met, as well as a note on the plat such that the flag lot could not be further subdivided without the creation of a public or private roadway. And again, that's a fire code consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Got a quick question. So they have to have a roadway in order to be able to do that, correct?
Well, the primary roadway access is for the first lot. The rear lot could either be part of the rear lot going up to the road or an easement on the front lot. And it would only need to meet International Fire Code standards, which is a minimum 20-foot wide roadway. So it's functionally, it'd be more of a driveway going to the back lot rather than a full road. But again, if there was ever a desire to expand, if it was a very large lot and they wanted to expand, there would be more considerations for either a fully built public or private roadway. So that way fire code standards are being met with turnaround and all that.
So that easement would be be put in place before that could happen.
Yeah, the easement would be part of the final plat.
Councilmember Dolan?
Joseph, while I was still on planning commission, we had brought this out and I was asking about having multiple flag lots together and we never finished that discussion about access. So you'd have one single access road, say down the side of that lot with each of those other flag lots being part of it with an independent driveway. Was that basically what they put in here for?
Well, a configuration like that would likely warrant a full roadway, again, due to the fire code requirements.
Larger than 20 feet. So
Yeah.
it could turn in and turn out.
Correct.
Council members, any other questions? Okay, well, there being no additional comments from the public or council, let the record show that this public hearing is now closed and the time is 6:55 p.m. Okay, actually, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve?
I second.
Go ahead.
Who was that second? Councilmember Chavez? Okay. Okay, motion by Councilmember Galvan. And then I got a second by Councilor Chavez. Okay. All opposed, please say aye.
Opposed?
Or, I mean, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Glad you caught that. All opposed, please say nay. Motion carries.
Mayor, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
Is there a reason why we're not doing the roll call as the rules and procedure 6.2 says? A roll call vote?
I guess I overlooked that it was in the rules and procedures.
Yeah, it's in the rules and procedures to do a roll call vote on all the,
Okay, I can go ahead and backtrack and do a roll call vote.
I just going forward.
Thank you for noting that out, Councilmember Galvan. I can start at the end over there with Councilmember Chavez. Councilmember Chavez, we'll go ahead and do a roll call.
Yes.
Councilmember Cesati?
Yes.
Councilmember Vasquez?
Yes.
Counselor Galvan?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dolan?
Yes.
And I too vote yes. Motion carries. Thank you for pointing that out, Councilmember Galvan. Okay. Is that for C? Oh, I see. Okay. C, supporting investment in economic development funding application, 9th and Lincoln Lift Station replacement. So approve a resolution authorizing the interim city manager to submit a funding application to supporting investment economic development SIED program for 9th Street and Lincoln Avenue Lift Station. Mr. City Manager.
Yes, and I will turn this over to, I believe, Stephanie Ray with HLA and Mr. Mejia if he'd like to add something else, so.
Madam Mayor, members of council, thank you for having me here tonight. Hopefully you can hear me. The
Yes.
City Manager, thank you as well. And so this particular item is the submission of a funding application. And when I was looking through your council packet, I believe perhaps the double resolution was added in lieu of the application. So Jackie, I'm happy to share my screen if that's possible, so at least you can see a site plan. If not, I can go ahead and talk about this verbally.
Go ahead, Ms. Ray. Share your screen.
Okay. Give me just 1 minute here. So on your screen, you should see the cover sheet for the Yakima County Supporting Investments in Economic Development. This is a draft application that was submitted to be part of the council packet. I am going to quickly flip through the pages to get to a site plan. And so the 9th Lincoln Lift Station it's operating currently at capacity. And it is in a developed basin of the city. It serves the northeast quarter. About a quarter of the sewage waste travels down Lincoln Avenue and into an existing lift station that's right underneath the intersection. That current lift station was constructed in 1947, and it's still in operation. There are 2 pumps inside that existing lift station that are operating at over 200 times a day. And so this particular lift station is over capacity, and it's actually operating outside and above its original design parameters from 1947. Granted, it's had a few upgrades with the pumps, but it is a very small lift station for the amount of wastewater traveling through. So the city and city council recognized this as an issue several years ago, close to 2024. And we applied for funding through the Department of Ecology for design and construction to replace this lift station. And we have funding for design only. We were notified by the Department of Ecology that funding for construction would not be available until at earliest 2028. And that's due to everything going on with our state and money just not being available in the typical funding programs. So we have evaluated other funding options, and one that became apparent was the SEED program. So SEED is the acronym for YCDA and Yakima County's grant loan program to support public infrastructure. The pretense of the SEED program is the retainage and creation of jobs, so it's tied to economic growth. And the reality of this lift station is, with it operating at such a high capacity, without improvements, it will hinder continued economic growth. And from the zoning maps and current information as to the developable properties, there's around 384 acres of commercial and industrial property in this basin. So this is a rather important part of your infrastructure. And as you can see on the site plan, we are looking to actually locate that lift station on school district property. And if council recalls, kind of toward the end of 2025, the city entered into an agreement with the Sunnyside School District. And this is the improvement that was a result of that agreement. And so the idea is to minimize construction activities in Lincoln. We know that's a very busy intersection and we want to be out of there. And so the current lift station that's there, it's rather unique what they did 80 years ago, but half of it is a stormwater and half of it is a sewer. So we can't alleviate the stormwater portion. So consequently that structure needs to remain to continue to pump your stormwater. But we can at least unconnect the sanitary sewer and make a much larger lift station to accommodate that basin area. So this funding program is unique in that thankfully it is local money. It is through Yakima County. They do require a 20% match, and the delta of that 20% of the remaining 50% is grant and 50% is loan. And the funding is also interesting in that with the local match requirement, it can be a variety of sources. It can be cash, it can be property, it can be material in kind. And so what we were able to do is use the ecology funding that the city already has, and that was already paid for design services. We can use that toward your match requirement and leaving a delta of approximately 70,000. And of the remaining, 50% will be grant and 50% will be loan. Let me get to a funding page here real quick. So you can see what that roughly looks like up on the screen. And for the loan portion, it is a 10-year loan. Repayment does not start until the project is done, which would roughly be about 8 to 9 months from now if this application is successful. And the loan terms are, the interest rate is what the county is able to receive funding for. And it varies. It's more of a market rate. But at the moment, I would assume about 4%. And so approximately what that would mean over a 10-year period, there's no penalty to pay it off earlier, would be around 70,000 a year for 10 years. And so this funding option is very similar or exacting to what would be required of Department of Ecology if we should wait until 2028 and hoping and praying that funding comes through ecology. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that council may have.
Council members, any questions? Councilmember Galvan?
Ms. Ray, can you explain to the public what a lift station is and what it does and potentially what can happen if it fails? I mean, before I was in council, I had no idea what this terminology is, but it would be great for the audience and the public to know.
Yeah, that is a great question, and thank you for asking it. And this is part of the application. So this plan is out of the city's general sewer plan. And what a general sewer plan is a planning document that you also have one for your water system, but it's used to identify all the parts and pieces of the city. You know, public works is one of those professions where everything goes underground. So unless there's an emergency, you don't even know you have it. And so what you can see here is each color represents a part of the city, and think of it as an area. It contains properties, it contains businesses, residences, and all of these arrows, I'm going to zoom in just a bit. Hopefully that reflects, oops, I tried to zoom in just a bit. Let's see here, there we go. So there is a 9th and Lincoln lift station right in the middle. In this large bluish property here would be the Sunnyside School District. And so how a lift station works, and just to call out where your wastewater treatment plant is, kind of down here on the south side of the city. So Sunnyside is flat in geography, and sewer is a gravity system. So you flush your toilet and realistically everything goes down the drain, and at least you hope, right? And so in order to get there, it's a gravity system. So your pipes have to have some level of slope to it. But Sunnyside is flat. So that means, say when you're over here by the mall, you know, we can't really physically construct a sewer that's 30, 40 feet deep at your plant. So then what happens is it's called a lift station, meaning what it does is lift that sewage up to a higher elevation so then you can start a gravity system all over again. So Sunnyside relies on a number of these. I think there's around 15-ish lift stations throughout the city. And as you can see here on 9th and Lincoln, this is Lincoln, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these that all what we call daisy chain, meaning it lifts the sewage up, it flows down the pipe, and we lift the sewage back up. So there's a number of these, and the 9th and Lincoln lift station is the last one before we get to the wastewater treatment plant. So all of that sewage from this entire basin, which is rather large because we're picking up this orange area, the green area, the purple area, all of this comes into that 9th Lincoln lift station. So what happens if that should fail, if those pumps should fail, if the power should go off, if we don't have a generator, is that lift station just overflows. And think of it as a backed up toilet. Hate to say that, visual, but it comes to the surface. It's the only place for it to go. Hopefully that
So
answers your
potentially, we could have a lot of backup toilets in the city if it were to fail for a long period of time.
Yeah, that would be correct. We would actually probably see it coming more out of the ground through sewer manholes. It would be on kind of the roadways. So this is a very critical part of a city's infrastructure. These are the parts that go below the ground. These are costly. This combined with your water system is really what serves your residents in terms of public works.
And just to ease your mind, we do have a generator there, so.
Oh, good.
There is a generator.
Good, there's a backup plan.
Yes, there is a backup generator.
Good. Any other questions from council members? Hearing none. What is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve.
Got a motion by Councilor Galvan,
Now second.
second by Councilor Vasquez. We'll go ahead and do a roll call. Councilmember Galvan,
Yes.
Councilmember Vasquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Sasati,
Yes.
Councilmember Chavez,
Yes.
Councilor Dolan,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hart.
Yes.
I too vote yes. Motion carries. Thank you, Stephanie.
Don't run away.
Stick around.
Okay. Next, it's the National Highway Freight Program. Did I say that right? Grant submission request. Approve a resolution authorizing the interim city manager to submit a funding application to the National Highway Freight Program for improvements to Edison Road Bridge and direct HLA to submit the application on the city's behalf when the application is complete. Mr. City Manager.
Again, I will turn this over to Ms. Ray from HLA.
Thank you, everybody. Pleasure to be here again. And no, this is a rather long description, and I hope everyone has read it and you have it memorized, but in case you haven't, let me talk a little bit more about it. Within your council packet, Jackie, there is a site map, and it would be the intersection of Highway 241 and Edison Road. It should be at the very back of the application. And so what this project is there is a call for projects through WashDOT for what we call NHFP, or it's a National Highway Freight Program. This particular program is focused on freight and freight mobility. And the reason for this particular application is we have been notified that WashDOT has funding. They have approximately $3.5 million available to construct a roundabout at the intersection of Highway 241 and Edison Road. There we go. Thank you. And so in the dashed lines, you can see the outline for the roundabout, which has been provided by WashDOT. We are currently under design to make that roundabout. However, the caveat is construction money is contingent on the replacement of a bridge. So there's a bridge that crosses Sulphur Creek Wasteway. And I'm assuming everyone has been over that bridge. It's narrow, and it leads right into kind of the approach, if you will, to Highway 241. It's so narrow, in fact, that every year we seem to have a number of accidents that hit the bridge railing, that take out the guardrail. We had an incident here in 2022 that was rather bad, where some of the hangers on the bridge actually came loose, and we do have exposed rebar in the girders underneath that bridge. Now, this bridge is inspected yearly. The city has a contract with Yakima County, so it is not in an unsafe situation. However, that bridge is currently weight restricted, meaning that a reduced loading on that bridge, and the bridge is posted as such. So this funding application came about in a way to assist WashDOT, to assist the city. And it's coming forth by, we need to do something with this bridge. We need to replace it. And in doing so, in that replacement, we'll be widening it. So it'll actually be longer, where we can accommodate sidewalks on both sides. And the plan is to also be able to accommodate bike lanes. And by that widening, what we'll do is allow kind of approach on the Highway 241 to accommodate the roundabout. Without replacement of the bridge, DOT does have the option of, we call it offsetting, or moving that roundabout. The property on the southeast corner is electric company. I believe that's Kinter Electric. And so what would happen is that roundabout would have to shift so much on their property that we'd have to buy, or the state would have to buy a large amount of right-of-way. So this application is being submitted, or we would like to submit this application to assist DOT on a regional project. We know the bridge has to be redone anyway, and we're able then to leverage WashDOT money to make that happen. This is a highly competitive program. There's 22 million total, and only 50% of it goes to local communities. So there's only $11 million statewide. There aren't a lot of funding programs available for bridge replacement, and we're very hopeful that this would be successful. If it's not, we have to continue to try to find funding sources. Regardless of the roundabout, the bridge and its safety metrics are continuously failing. And so we will have to ultimately replace that bridge. And so this particular funding program, they will prioritize projects. And we have kind of elected to push this one out more into 2027, 2028. That aligns better with the WashDOT funding. And then you'll see there's a match requirement. And in doing so, if we're successful, that gives us an opportunity to find matching funds, so that to reduce the city's contribution.
Stephanie, quick question. Are we going to replace the bridge, or are we going to go in with a culvert?
The goal, and thank you for that question, Jim. The current bridge is an older style WashDOT bridge. It's a girder bridge. They did these throughout the valley. The goal is to replace the bridge with, we have a couple of options. One is called a conspan bridge, and they're segmented concrete structures that go back to back. And the other option that Jim was mentioning is a culvert, where we can do, it's almost like a half pipe, if you will. It's a much stronger material than just a culvert pipe, but they are designed to be pieced together. And both the conspan and the segmented pipe is a much cheaper option than a full girder bridge. In addition, the maintenance to the city is a lot less than what it would be for a girder.
Thank you.
I have a question really quick. What would be the price difference on either one?
The price difference between a conspan or a segmented pipe?
Yes.
Good question. So the estimate at the moment includes a conspan, which is the higher of the two. Approximate cost difference between the two is $75,000 to $100,000.
And we would be on the hook for how much of it?
So the entirety of the project, the total project cost is, to the, you go to, Jackie would be, there's a project budget in this packet. Jackie, you might not be able to find it. So the total match requirement for this program is 13.5%. There you go, keep going up. And so the total city contribution is $375,000. Or sorry, $337,000, but the 337 is split over what we call PE, so that's design, and CN is construction and construction administration.
Now, I also noticed that you wanted to wait a couple years. Is the reason for that due to more funding?
Yeah, so partly. The goal is also to align this project with WashDOT's project. So the city may be able to entertain a partnership with WashDOT just to have one bid project, which would be an economy of scale. Or likewise, in 2027, the way funding also works is that when you submit an application, it generally takes about a year to execute an agreement. So then you'll be in 2027 anyway. And then
So the total price we're looking at is approximately 2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for pointing that out, Jim. So we are, when you look at the application, you know the total on there says $275,000. And please note that in the resolution, we have $337,000. The price difference is this project is also, I believe, going to legislator to be asked, Jim, through your lobbyists for construction money. And so 13.5% of 2.5 million, which is what the lobbyists know as their number, is at 337,500. So the application includes what we believe to be more of the real costs. We're just in the lobbying side of things, asking hopefully for the higher side of what you will need. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, so this, again, this is one of the priorities that we were taking to the legislature on Wednesday, so.
Now you know what to ask for tomorrow.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Leave tomorrow, we'll ask for a Wednesday.
Leaving tomorrow. Now you know what to ask for on Wednesday.
We're taking a big hat.
Already have it.
Councilor Galvan has been waiting. He has a question.
So it says here that there's 3 accidents that hit the bridge with caused some damage to the guardrail and one on the concrete. I find it crazy, you know, about a year ago, this same bridge came up and I asked that same question if the city ever contacted their insurance. And at the time they said no, right? So I think we really need to look at this going forward, or even if we could go back and look at those accident reports to see if there's a way that, you know, we could contact those insurance for those trucks, because, you know, other cities, I'll put it out there, right? Other cities, I think it was the city of Lacey, one of my trucks ran over some grass, and within a couple of days, they were calling me for a bill, $1,800 bill for replacement of the grass. So I think if the city was a little bit more, you know, make sure that we're contacting the insurance for these trucks, or for whoever hits these bridges, we don't have to come back, you know, and ask the public for higher taxes to come up with the $337,000. You know, that's 3 accidents right there that we definitely missed out on some money by not contacting the insurance. So I mean, there's a way.
And if I can address that, Mr. Gavon. So part of the problem with this bridge is that it's multi-jurisdictional, right? So the bridge is the cities. The guardrail along 241 is the state. What typically happens, and if everybody knows where I live right on the other side of that bridge. I see it all the time. Matter of fact, I just sent pictures to Stephanie 2 weeks ago. The guardrail, when a truck approaches that bridge and is going to make a left turn or right turn and head south on 241, the rear trailer grabs that guardrail and just unzips that guardrail straight down the straight, right? And typically they don't stop because they don't know they've done it. and either guardrail lays right there in the street, or they drag it down the street where it falls off the truck, but nobody ever sees them and they never get caught. In the case of the bridge accident, I'm not aware of that one. It was in 2022. That should have been captured by the insurance. We typically do a good job on accidents to city infrastructure. Make sure that the police are aware that we get that driver information and their insurance so that we can go back on insurance. I mean, that's for fire hydrants, street lights, any public infrastructure that's damaged. So, in this particular instance, again, the damage 2 weeks ago was strictly guardrail, and that is state jurisdiction. State goes out and replaces it. But there was no vehicle report, no accident report, nothing, because again, they hit it and they drive off, right? Anyway, so I hope that addresses your.
No, it does. And I know, I think the one in 2022, I think that the truck or the reefer that hit it was there at the time. So there should be a report of some sort. And those insurances have bigger pockets. So
We'll look at the accident report, see if we can find it and see if we can still go after them.
Counselor Dolan?
Go ahead.
No.
Stephanie, I was looking at this thinking, wouldn't it make more sense to culvert the water and move your design to the west and increase I think you could probably pick up that area a lot quicker and cheaper than, this would give you a lot more room on that intersection. That intersection is very horrible. We have a parade every year that families park at that at Kidder Electric and try to cross that intersection, and it's pretty dangerous. It's at dusk, and families are running with little kids across 241, and it would definitely help to slow those trucks and all the traffic down that is doing about 65 to 75 through that intersection anyway.
That's not the speed limit.
So I think that putting the culvert in on that water, both directions, and a lot more, and give you more room to put your bridge on and give you more base to build it up if you want to do it with those half pipes. And
Deputy Mayor Hart?
I'm just thinking also, when you're talking about the whole business of having a roundabout, and that was one of the options we've been talking about here tonight, is always the roundabout slows traffic down. And those guys are coming off of that particular state route going way faster than they're supposed to be going, because I think it's only 55 out there, and they hardly ever
50.
drive that fast.
It's actually 40 through that intersection.
Is it 40? Well, and I'm pretty sure they don't drive that either, because that's why they keep ripping off your things. But I think the roundabout is a traffic control measure to slow people down. I think I kind of like the idea of putting in the culvert, but I think, when you spoke earlier about safety issues and that by putting in the roundabout, you'd be adding the sidewalks, which would certainly help at that intersection for those people who are coming along there, and the extra sidewalks. I kind of think and again, as you mentioned, it all has to do with what the WashTalk decides what kind of money they want to do. I know that they're in Olympia tomorrow, and Yakima Valley COG is up there looking for some money for the Yakima County for those kinds of road issues as well. So I think there's going to be some money, as you said. It will probably take us out into 27, 28. But again, that gives us some time to raise up some money for some match monies. And as you said, it's a multiple district. It's not jurisdictional. It's not just the city of Sunnyside. You cross the street and you're what, county?
No, that was annexed in 2009.
Yeah, well, that's right. So it's part of the city, but still, it's still part of the state's highway system. So yeah, maybe we can, maybe we can't.
But again, WashDOT is the one that's going to build and design the roundabout. But for that roundabout to work, we have to do our share on the west the west side of the intersection.
Okay.
That corridor has been the 241 corridor. The state several years ago did a safety study on that because of the number of accidents through that location. the stop signs, then they went to the lighted, had regular stop signs, and they went to the bigger stop signs, and they went to the lighted stop signs. And again, this was when I was Public Works Director, finally talked them into putting a street light over that intersection because it is so dangerous. There are multiple wrecks there every year. If you see them, you wonder how people walk away from them. They're actually horrific accidents, and there have been some fatalities there. So again, WashDOT has stepped up to the plate to build the roundabout, but it's our problem to find the money to replace the bridge.
Other questions? Counselor Galvan?
So this is asking for the $337,500 for the year 2027 and 2028. It's not a budget amendment for this year, right?
Correct.
Because the main form there makes it, well, it looks like it's a budget amendment, but we haven't even.
Well, if the money came in this year, so none of our capital projects are in the budget, right? So as the money comes in and we want to start to dispersing them in the budget, then we do a budget amendment and bring them into the budget, and then we're able to disperse.
Okay, got it.
Got a question. So can we look at it later on, maybe next year when we start looking to see if we have more money for it but I'm looking at it right now?
So because these are all very competitive grants, right? And so, I think what's going for us in this grant cycle, and again, as Ms. Ray said, it's probably going to be at least a year before the money becomes available in 2027. And so you never want to miss your chance because you never know what's going to go on, right? We're taking this to the legislature on Wednesday. And we are asking for the full 2.5 million from the state legislature for this project. Really, it's just we're trying to time this with WashDOT. There's nothing that says that we can't start doing some preliminary work. It's as Stephanie says, an economy of scale. So the bigger the project, the better the price you're going to get on it. Instead of us doing our piece, we can do our piece and just stop it, and then the state can come in later and do their piece. But if you have one contract instead of two, you're going to get a better price typically. And so, we can go it alone and do our piece, and then the state would come in and do their piece. So it's either way you want to do it.
Counselor Sisati?
I just have a question. How soon after we go lobby, do we find out if we get the funds?
I think last year we were notified within, 4 months that we received funds. 3? Yeah.
Seems about right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Deputy Mayor?
yeah, I was just going to say, the sooner you get your application in on one of these projects, the sooner it's more likely that we're going to get a positive result. Because you want to be at the beginning of the list as opposed to the end of the list. And the timing is everything in these grants. And that's how we were able to get some money last year. That's how we've been able to get the money here just recently. We haven't even talked about that tonight.
Yeah.
But I think it would do us, I think it would be a gold star in our cap if we went ahead and approved the application, the resolution to authorize for the submission of funding for this application. I think it behooves us to do it. So I'd like to make that motion.
Counselor Vasquez?
Yeah, and I just have one more question, Stephanie. So like in regards of us moving forward with this bridge and taking the responsibility on as a city, and we already got the money secured for the roundabout. So in essence, wouldn't it be like we need to also do our part in order to move forward with what has already been granted? And if we don't move forward with a plan or try to lock in some money for this bridge, then essentially we just lose all the hard work and effort that has been poured into this roundabout for the city of Sunnyside.
Yeah, so that's a good comment. So WashDOT went and they have money for this roundabout and also a roundabout on another one on Highway 241 just outside of Sunnyside. And so WashDOT is actually stalled out on their money on this particular location until the bridge is able to move forward. And so typically funding, you can hold on to it for around 4 years or so, but after that 4-year mark, a lot of people start asking some questions about why haven't you moved forward with money. And so those would be the hard questions that WashDOT will need to answer, because they won't be able to move forward until our bridge project is able to move forward. And then with that said, I mean, the bridge is inspected on a yearly basis, but the bridge ratings are falling, and the bridge is already weight restricted. So meaning that it is already limiting freight to come into the city without a replacement.
Stephanie, do you want to speak to the problem with that bridge and the shortness of the deck, and why we are limited to, we have very limited granting opportunities for this, so.
Yes, we do. Let me, Jackie, if it's okay with you, I'd share, if you could go to maybe Google Earth and just do a street view so everyone can see it. Or I
I
can
mean, so technically this is a bridge, but it's not a bridge.
right.
That's the way the feds look at it, because it's too
Yes.
short.
And I can also share my screen as well. So did you want me to share my screen, Jackie?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm happy to do that. There we go. Share. Okay. So here is this bridge. The bridge reference for everyone, this is number 608. We don't get overly creative in public works. And so when I do a bridge view on this, you can see how narrow this is. This bridge, and you can even see where the fog lines are, but it really is designed to accommodate 2 10-foot travel lanes, and that's it. It is incredibly narrow. And so the proposal would actually be a 75-foot wide bridge in here. So if you could imagine adding about 25 feet on either side of this, and that's to accommodate the bike lanes and the sidewalks, which, and thank you for information about the parade. I mean, there is no pedestrian safety on this bridge at all. And so what you're looking at, it looks like asphalt, but it's actually a number of layers of chip seal. And you know, this was taken quite a little while ago, but when you kind of look in some of these potholes, you actually will see the rebar in the bridge. And so the rebar is popping up. The city has been maintaining it for quite some time. And in this corner, this far corner here, we have tied ourselves off, and we have actually walked down underneath this bridge, and we do have exposed rebar sitting underneath there that isn't secured in concrete. So you can see some of that. So you have a bridge railing right there, and even in this photo, you can see it's just suspended in space. That has since been fixed, but that's the many issues with this bridge. And the turning radius coming off of Highway 241 is so incredibly narrow that folks just keep grabbing these corners when they're trying to make that turning movement. To complicate the situation, you see where the red car is, that's WashDOT right away. About where that, you see the white with the red on top of it, that's a marker. From that location all the way over to the other side of the embankment, that is SBID right away. So it's not even an easement, it is SBID right away. And why this bridge becomes so important is that this is also an emergency overflow for both the Rosa and SVID. So we have to design a structure that can accommodate a very large flow rate in case there is an emergency with just a flow of water coming through here. So hopefully that helps. This is a very intricate and tricky area to design around. And so we would be taking everything out that you see here and then adding that large arch pipe culvert or a span structure.
Thank you, Stephanie. Other questions? Councilor Vasquez?
Yeah, so just for clarification, WashDOT has been playing nice with us and they've been gracious. And just to secure everything, it'd be pretty ideal for us to move forward with this.
Okay. Councilor Dolan?
Yeah, I had a question, Stephanie. Wouldn't it make sense to use a precast girder bridge on that span and be able to extend it out without too much worrying about the water? because then you have your piers on both sides further apart, and that gives you your pad for the whole intersection, basically.
Yeah, so if I understand your question correctly, what we would call scabbing, and so the way this bridge is situated right now, we don't have a structural integrity to actually drill into it, just to add segmented pieces on there. The other problem we have is it's currently a girder bridge. So what you see is a flat surface, but the girders are another 18 inches below. And we don't have enough area to contain that emergency flow coming off of SVID. They're requiring us to be able to pass 1,500 CFS underneath the bridge.
Yeah, you'd have to take out the entire bridge to do a longer span anyway.
Yep.
Okay.
So, the girder bridges, we're certainly not opposed to that. That was actually our first option until we knew the flow rate from SVID. And we started getting some costs on what a pre-stressed girder would be going through there, comparing that with the conspan and the pipe arch. At that point, it just became a cost analysis of which one would be the best option for you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Any final questions? It seems like I get a sense that most of council has made up their mind on this. There's no other questions. What is the desire of council?
I make a motion to authorize the city manager to sign the applicant certification and direct HLA to submit the application on the city's behalf when the application is complete.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilor Vasquez, second by Deputy Mayor Hart. And excuse me, I haven't been adding the debates in here. Any debate, council?
I'm still not sold on it. I want to kind of look into it a little bit more because I'm still not sold on it.
Thank you, Councilor Chavez. Anybody else?
I also think we should look at design to what we're looking at here. I think by shifting things to the west a little bit, you'd gain a lot, and it's definitely needed. That radius is definitely needed to get trucks around that corner, and the truck traffic there is immense. Been working on out there on another project on 241 for quite some time, and it's incredible, the truck traffic. And so I think if we design this bridge and design your approaches on both sides, because I think the land is available to the west a lot easier than it would be to the east.
Deputy Mayor Hart.
I think that as we're moving forward in this application, I think that there's probably some flexibility for some adjustments to that. Are there not, Stephanie?
There are. The goal is to get, would be for council to approve submission of the application. This application cycle is unique in that applications are submitted to YVCOG, who's your MPO, RTPO. They actually produce a prioritized list through their technical advisory committee. And the applications are then submitted to DOT the end of February, so February 27th. So there is, ample time to look at, other options. Likewise, when we do estimates at this level, we include around 20% contingency in the cost because we also don't always know what we're going to run into. So it's a way to kind of build that cost estimate up to handle those changes in the future. And so on this particular one, DOT would have and is working on the roundabout design. So it would be a partnership, with them to look at other design options. But regardless, we have to do a bridge whichever way we go. So we would be looking at some level of a bridge improvement here.
Councilor Galan had a question. Or debate.
And Councilor Chavez, I can understand the hesitation, but I think we need to move ahead with the application. And I know that if we do get other sources of funding, like the city manager said, there's always, the opportunity to change this around. This, I wouldn't want to delay any application being submitted. So that's my saying.
I agree with that. having gone down this grant road before and knowing come so close and then lose it, it's better to get the money and then kind of, if we have to make flexibility into it, it's a lot easier after you have the money to do that.
Since we have a motion on the table with the second, do we want to go ahead and do a roll call?
So let's do that. Call for the
Okay.
vote.
Let's call for the vote. Counselor Dolan,
Yes.
Counselor Galvan,
Yes.
Counselor Sasati,
Yes.
Counselor Chavez,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hart,
Yes.
Counselor Vasquez,
Yes.
and I too vote yes. Motion carries.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Thank you, guys.
Fingers crossed we get some money on Wednesday.
Yes, and
Or
that
at
would
least
be
we
the
convince
follow-up.
them.
If you guys get CDS money, take it, because it would be more grant than this. So I wish Jim the best of luck.
I wish all of us the best of luck.
Yeah.
All of us.
I think with all this, just my biggest concern is putting it on the taxes for our community, adding taxes to that community. And that's one of my biggest concerns is putting that in there.
That's valid.
Completely agree.
Can I just mention, I'm not sure how that works or not, but Jim, we have in our funding sources, we have the transportation improvement, what is that
It's
called?
the Transportation Benefit District.
Benefit district. So
Right.
we do regularly raise money through that. Is that not correct? Could you explain that?
Right. And so we have the Transportation Benefit District, which is actually 0.2% sales tax. Goes to support transportation projects as well as the REIT 1 tax. And so we do already have existing tax sources, so we're not looking to raise taxes for projects. It's really just prioritizing which projects come in. Typically these are funds that we use for local projects. And in this particular case, we would have to take a larger chunk of those two funds to support this project here. If that was the case, then we'd just end up delaying the smaller projects a year or two out as necessary till we get funding for them built back up.
Hence not having to raise taxes.
Correct.
And the nice thing, excuse me, and Jim, just to reiterate on that, that I forgot the 0.2% is a sales tax, so that's spread out over everybody who shops in Sunnyside. You buy a car, you buy a sack of chips. Everybody well, they just don't want food, but like cleaning supplies maybe. Everybody pays it.
And to add to that,
Everybody-
that includes online shopping.
And online shopping.
And everyone online does online shopping.
Yes.
And the money comes
That's
from
8%.
visitors. Prior to that, the city had the $20 license tabs.
Exactly, yeah.
That was focused strictly on the residents of the city of Sunnyside to pay for these type of projects. With the sales tax, that encompasses anybody that comes through town and does any shopping as well as online shopping.
Thank you.
So that helps with not having to raise taxes, because we all get to pay a little bit.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying, Mr. City Manager. All right, seems like we can move on to the next one. Thank you again, Stephanie. City Council, Washington DC visit. Approve a resolution authorizing up to, this says 3 city council members, but you'll probably chime in on this one.
Right.
Correcting that. Authorizing council members and the interim city manager to attend federal advocacy meetings in Washington DC and authorizing related travel expenses. Mr. City Manager.
Right. And so, we had a request from our consulting group, or our not consulting, lobbying group, thank you, to have a group, if you will, go back to Washington DC and lobby our congressional federal representatives. Originally thought it was 3, and speaking with them, it's more functional to have 2. And that would be typically the mayor and the city manager, whoever that may be, to do this work. And so they are asking us now to really solidify that date of February 12th. And I believe there may be a conflict with the mayor, and let her speak to that.
26th. February 26th.
Okay.
Yeah, it's changed to Monday, February, or I don't know if it's a Monday, but it's February 26th, right, Jackie? That's what you said
Yeah,
earlier?
they gave the option of the 25th or the 26th.
Okay.
Now, with that being said, I know that I have been approached by some council members that may be willing to pay their own route back there, right? So again, when we talked about this with respect to budget, we don't have the budget to send a large group of folks back there. Matter of fact, I don't think we budgeted any money, so monies would have to be approved by the council to make this happen. But other council members have indicated they may want to pay for it themselves, and they're more than welcome to do that and join the group. So, any questions, comments? Again, this is just for council discussion.
So council discussion, so just to reiterate what interim city manager mentioned, Capital Pathway Consulting mentioned that typically it's the mayor and the city manager, and because we are strict on funds, it make more sense to go that route. But it doesn't limit anybody who would want to pay their way over to Washington DC on either the 25th or the 26th, leaving the 25th or 26th of February. I'm going to open it up for discussion. If you all have any questions regarding this. Did you have a question, Councilor Vasquez?
No, Julia did.
Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
It's a long road in here. I think that we definitely should find some money so that we can do that, because when you go out to get money, you usually come back with money. That personal contact, that one-on-one has proven to be very successful for our community. Of course, we have persuasive people who show up to ask to wring the arms of our legislators and those people that we're asking money from and encouraging them to vote for us. It's like so I'm in favor of approving a resolution to issue the money for this and for the city manager, interim city manager or city manager, and of course, the mayor to go. I'm not sure. We'll have to find out how much that amounts to so that we can ask for that amount of money in some sort of an agenda kind of amendment sort of situation. But I think it's a wise use of our time and our money to do that. Just like,
That's good.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Mr. Bridges, please.
I was just gonna say, it helps to put a face to the name when you go back there, right? And, you know, we did just receive 2.1 million from Senator Murray's office for water infrastructure. So, again, you know, when we go back there, you know, projects like the bridge we just talked about, you know, there's nothing wrong. We'll ask for, you know, every bucket we can to fill this bucket up, right? So, whoever we can get the money from, we'll take it. But like I said, it to put the face to the name would help us very, very much.
Always helps.
Did you say you wouldn't be able to go, or you are able to go?
Not on the initial date that they chose, but the 25th and 26th I would be available. And that's the second those are the last two dates that they offered.
Okay.
Just pushes us out maybe a week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in favor if you know, if you're willing to represent the city, you know, or I'm in favor for you to go.
Thank you. I know that I have heard from some council members that y'all would possibly want to pay your way over, and if that's the case, maybe we can all coordinate together to make sure we leave on the same day and are there lobbying together.
I'm interested
Okay.
to pay my own way. Just to clarify, to pay my own way and attend.
Can,
Okay.
with the setting up of the travel arrangements, is that through the city clerk?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is she able to help with the arrangements for councilmen's
Travel.
travel?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, obviously she's paying for herself, but setting up for the arrangements, that's possible. That'd be great. Okay. Do we need a motion for that?
I don't think so. It's
Okay.
just discussion.
Okay, it says here to approve a resolution.
Oh, do we have a resolution, Jackie?
There is a resolution, and that was before the 25th or 26th date. So that's why we were asking council to take action. You can still take action because this will require an amendment to the budget.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm. And if you could,
Put the date in.
Order.
yeah, make the motion of who you're sending over and the date.
Who wants to make that motion?
I will.
Okay. Oh, sorry. No,
Wrong motion.
our batteries die really quickly, so
I noticed mine
I
did
had to
too.
log back in.
Mine was fully charged and it's dead.
Yeah, I'll make the
where do I
motion
charge it?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
to authorize the issuance of, wait, that's wrong one. I mean, resolution to authorize the two city council members, one city council member, the mayor and the interim city manager to attend the federal advocacy meetings in Washington DC on February the 25th. Is that the correct date?
Yeah, or 26th.
25th or 26th, okay. And authorize related travel expenses.
Thank you. I got a
I need
motion.
a second.
Have a second.
I second that.
Is there debate on this item?
Again, I just think this is a good use of our funds to get back a lot of money. It's a good bet.
All right, let's go get some money.
Let's do it.
Okay, all right. Hearing no debate, we'll go ahead and do a roll call. Counselor Dolan,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hart,
Yes.
Counselor Galvan,
Yes.
Counselor Vasquez,
Yes.
Counselor Cesati,
Yes.
Counselor Chavez.
Yes.
I too vote yes. Motion carries. Okay, item G, city issued cell phones for city council. Approve a resolution authorizing the issuance of city-owned mobile phones to city council members for official city business and direct council members to conduct city business on city-issued devices to conduct. Is this, Mr. City Manager? I'll go ahead and.
And I will turn this over to our city clerk, Jacqueline Renteria.
Okay, so council members, this item addresses council communications. Council members regularly communicate with residents and staff by phone and text. Currently, some of you use personal phone lines, which places responsibility on you to maintain and retain city related records. Under the Washington Public Records Act, city business communications, including text messages, are subject to disclosure. We believe by issuing city phones, we would ensure these communications occur on city devices and making record retention and public records requests easier and more consistent. The total annual cost for all council phones would be around $4,620 with a one-time $300 cost for phone cases. These costs would be included in a future budget amendment for council consideration.
Thank you. Council members, any questions for the city clerk? Councilmember Vasquez?
Yeah, so I guess my question would be, was this brought forth by you, Jackie? And the only reason why I'm asking is because I know you're in charge of having to submit all the public record requests. And would this actually like save you time and make your life a bit easier?
It would. When we are answering records requests, I could just pull it just like I do the city emails. And it is easier. It also would, let's say you lost your phone, we would lose those messages that if you were communicating with a community member. And it's up to you all if you'd like to do it. I would prefer that you do. It would probably save you all a phone line. And then since we are moving over to text message retention, it would be better that we hold all of those documents and data in our system.
Okay.
You would still have your personal phones if you needed, but it would be best if you did city business on your city phones.
Councilmember Galvan?
Is that what we're gonna do is you seen what did you call it, text message retention?
Yes, an archiver for that. And I'm working with Jafet on picking out a good solution for that. So it would archive everything there.
Well, just because, I do have an extra city phone, and whenever you need the whatever text messages or documents, I'm pretty
Yes.
quick at sending it over to you. So
And you are, thank you.
so just if we're gonna have the message retention, then yeah, I mean, it's just another way to save those text messages in case we forget a pin or something.
Yes, because right now I probably have about 15 records requests for about 10 record requests for text messages for council members. So And I'm having to email each of you individually to get your screenshots. And this way, it would just be downloaded on a PDF, ready to be redacted if there was anything that needed to be redacted. I wouldn't need to do an affidavit confirming that acknowledging that you do or don't have records. This way, it's already on there and it's easy to respond to requests.
And they become city property, right? So once a council member terms out, we give that back.
Yes, just like your laptops, it'd be the same thing.
Any other questions, councilors? Would this require an amendment to the budget?
It would.
Thought I saw 3,000.
Yeah.
4,000?
4,000.
Unless Monica, is there enough in the communications line for council for this? It's not something, we had talked about it last year, but I don't believe it was included. So it would require a budget amendment when that one comes through. And you can continue to discuss if you'd like.
Councilor Vasquez?
Yeah, so if we move this forward, how soon would we be getting these phones?
Jafet, do you have an answer for that?
It should be fairly quickly once we get an approval. We still have to set up the text message retention system. But getting the phone should be fairly quick.
Okay.
Yep.
Go
ahead.
I guess I think I would, just to make your life easier, I think we should move this forward just because at the end of the day, it'll be beneficial, especially like for incoming and newer council in the future. I think it'll just be way better off all around. So I think we should move this forward.
Yes, to answer record requests, it would be easier, but it also is a requirement that we archive these and retain them until they've met their retention period. Yeah.
Because it's also a lot of work for us. I don't know about you guys, but just having to go back and check the dates that they're requesting, and it's pretty time consuming. So even like on us, it'll help us save some time.
And right now, the way you guys are giving them to me is, screenshot, and then I have to, send them to the portal. This way, it generates a PDF report. It says everything. I would have the metadata if necessary.
Okay.
It would yes.
Yes. Anything to help with public records?
Yeah.
Right?
Get a little easier.
Okay, what is the desire of council on this?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Councilor Galvan, second by Councilor Vasquez. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none. Deputy Mayor Hart,
Yes.
Councilor Galvan,
Yes.
Councilor Vasquez,
Yes.
Councilor Sasati,
Yes.
Councilor Dolan,
Yes.
Councilor Chavez, I believe, stepped out. Do we wait for him to come back?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
When
Mayor, I'll go ahead and mark myself as yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go knock on the door. Just kidding.
Like, what's your vote?
Yes, no, maybe.
Well, this is the first. I don't think this has happened before.
Well, to vote. You gotta always time it.
I don't think this is it. It's okay, we'll give him some privacy.
Really cold.
Time is strategic.
I was like, okay, after that one.
The visual was just.
What an icebreaker.
Hey, now,
No pun intended.
now Karen and I are like, no, we're not. I was trying to time it.
Please hold.
Like the song.
Could you hand this down? Jackie, for me?
Yes.
Can you get that to the right person so I get my W's? Right
yes,
address?
Oh, waiting on me?
Yeah.
Yes, oh, yes, Councilor Chavez,
Sorry.
what is your vote?
Yeah, well, let's approve it. I apologize.
No, we know, we.
Okay, motion carries.
No worries.
There you go. Okay, we have come down to the agenda. All right, next up is 9 items from council members. Item A, mayor's appointments for boards and commissions. And I'm gonna go ahead and toss that over to Deputy Mayor Hart for now. So maybe she can give us some insight on some of the happenings during the Climate Resiliency Board.
We can do this under counselor. Items from counselors.
Could we comment on the Climate Resiliency Board here, or does it have to be during council?
Under.
Reports and announcements.
Council reports and announcements?
Probably.
Okay.
That'd be better.
Thank you. Okay, so for this, we'll go ahead. There are no mayor appointments for boards and commissions. However, the Rules Committee is planning to meet next Thursday, soon as we're back from Olympia, to go over applications regarding the Housing Authority. And hopefully, Jackie, make an amendment to the workshop so we can go ahead and appoint on that day if it's possible.
Yeah, we can.
For February 2nd? Okay. So next up is council request status report. Mr. City Manager.
Wait for,
Yeah.
pull it up there, so.
Thank you, Jackie.
Yellowstone Trail. Mr. Mejia.
The sign is ordered, just waiting for it to arrive. And we can get that taken care of. That way we can get that up, and we've been on it about mowing, spraying, and we will keep the upkeeps.
Temporary vendors permits, Mr. Taylor.
We are making progress. We met with Julie Norton on it last week. Hopefully February, we'll be bringing the ordinance to one of the study sessions to discuss it one more time before we approve, so.
Farm Olympic Machine, I have nothing to report at this time. Neither Boys or Girls Club.
I do.
Okay, Mr. Dolan.
I was talking with a couple of people involved. They are in negotiations with a person to buy all of it
All the equipment.
on the museum property.
Oh.
So that's wait and see kind of a thing, but
Oh, the farm equipment? Really?
what's on the antique implements on the museum property there's a possibility that this person he was talking about buying some of it, and it came out that we wanted to eliminate all of it, and he was contemplating that, and so we'll hear back from him hopefully within the month. He's not moving very fast on it, but
I have a question.
it's a possibility.
So like solely the machinery around the museum, and who would get that money?
I'm not real sure about that. I have been pressing the two individuals involved, and it started out with the American Legion. And the American Legion said this is totally not their business or their equipment. And so they declined to comment or get involved. And so it's basically Mr. Schlieve is he had a couple of people help him put it all there, and supposedly we're waiting on the response with an offer, which would be a great help. I even offered to help him move it.
Just on that note, the equipment was, as you said, was gathered up by Mr. Schlieve
And several others.
and some buddies of his that were working on that same project. There was a while back, someone was trying to convince that material, all of that equipment should be donated to the Yakima Ag Museum but maybe they don't want it because they got a lot of their own. So seems like it's right now because the property is the city's property. The museum belongs to the museum board, right? The society, the museum. So the property itself is the city's. But I don't know that we couldn't work, there couldn't be such a thing as to work out so that if the sale did go through, that money could then be budgeted to help with the museum projects. I don't know. We'd have to talk about it, should this go through, but does that sound like it was something be feasible, Jim?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, that would be the desire of the council with
Mhm,
the dispersed funds, but
This was first brought up because of the liability to the city having that equipment there.
Mhm.
And it's been several years in the making and the people involved are several years older now. And it's harder to move that stuff after a while. And so that's the only thing that I was told by one of the individuals involved. So I don't have any answers as to who the buyer is yet, or I'm kind of dependent on them to give me an answer on whether or not the deal is going to work out.
Be cool if it did.
Yeah. I don't think there'd be any money involved coming to the city unless he donated it to the city.
Well, who's he buying the equipment from, I guess, is your first question, you know?
Yeah, who's buying the equipment, but it's who owns the equipment to sell it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And at
That's
this
the first
point,
question.
it's Mr. Sleeve. The American Legion has said we're not part of that, and so Mr. Sleeve is on his own to do whatever's possible. And his partner in this venture told me that he has an offer to buy everything because he wanted to buy less than everything at first. And he said, well, why don't you pick it all up and we'll make, maybe the price would be the same. And, you know, their negotiations are theirs. But I just came forward to talk to him about it because I was involved a little bit with moving it the first time to get our new building put up.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Counselor Dolan. Mr. City Manager?
on the Boys and Girls Club, again, I have nothing to report at this point in time unless Mr. Chavez has something.
I don't yet. I've been wanting to drop by over in Prosser. I know they have one going on over there, kind of see where they're at with it, but I haven't had a chance.
Community Center, Mr. Mejia?
I'm still, I have the 2 contracts already made out and done for the church. The pickleball doesn't have a contract, but the soccer has also been in there. And that's about as far. I know I got a phone call today about talking about having basketball back in there. So I will be talking to that person and see what we can do.
Do you have a copy of those contracts?
Yes, I do.
Can you mind emailing me the copy of it, please?
Oh, yeah, not a problem.
So going forward on this item, how does council want to proceed? I mean, just a notification when we do have another potential contract on the item instead of just having on, every city council meeting just to discuss this? I'm just trying to figure out, the status. The original intent of this status report was to find out about a contract for, I believe, soccer.
Soccer, yeah.
Right. And so I guess my point is to the council, do you just want us to report in the future as something we're approached for a contract and report that instead of just having us as a every week
That seems like-
update?
I think that'd be a good idea.
Be good if we can all get notified.
I have something maybe that I could add on to that. So I actually had some of the leaders of that church that are at the community center contact me, and they're pretty much saying that their whole congregation, they really want to work in regards of giving back to the community, helping out with food, with clothes, with multiple different food drives, clothes drives for the community. And they actually talked to me and they were saying, we know that the community center is closed. There's no one you guys cannot afford right now to have staff there. And they said, so we talked and we were willing to volunteer and to be in the community center, give back to community. We're willing to step up and fill up that plate that's lacking in our community. And they've been talking to me. I know I brought it up briefly to you, and we still need to talk about that. But I just kind of want to let all of council know that there are people who are interested in actually keeping the community center open, and they're willing to even, they're all willing to turn in the records, like their background checks. They're all willing to fill out all the volunteer forms that are actually needed. They're willing to even maybe set up a time that the community center can be open and ran by volunteers. And so their question was, what's stopping us from moving this along and actually being able to give back and help our community? So there's still a conversation to be had with city manager. It's just beginning this new year, there was just so much things moving and shifting, so it's kind of been prolonged. But I just wanted to bring it up to council, and maybe it's something that we could add on to this community center section in regards of like the insurance, because I know that's been an issue in the past, especially with volunteers, and kind of just get some direction from council as a whole. What are your thoughts on this, and is this something that we would be interested in entertaining?
That was actually a thought of mine, like, because we do hear a lot from the community about, it's not open and we need to have it open. And I had thought, well, maybe we should start up a roster of volunteers, obviously get the background checks and stuff. So I'm all for it. I think that's a great idea. Because at least, get something going, even if it's a couple of hours, a week or a day. I think that's a great idea, and I support that.
Counselor Chavez?
I want to add is that building belongs to our city.
Correct.
Our city we should not have that burden of them not being able to use it. I understand we have insurance, a little bit of things we have to deal with the insurance and other things, but I believe that we need to open it up for our community in all aspects, not just for sports, but for other things that benefits our community. So I'm up for you opening up for our community.
A question of me.
Mhm.
That's it.
You can just talk.
So would this conversation maybe be good to have during like maybe a public a Parks and Recs meeting where I'm looking at you, Counselor Chavez, because you
Yeah.
are the liaison to the Parks and Recs.
Yeah, I think that would be ideal, getting together and see who in our community would benefit from it. I remember when I first started talking about this is what one of my end goals was, hey, we need to open it up. And I think this is a startup of starting to do it. And this year is going to be ideal to get it going. We don't need to have those lights shut off or that building closed. It needs to have bodies in there. It needs to have people in there. It needs to have community in there. It needs to have kids in there. We need to open it up.
And Counselor Vasquez, I know you attend those meetings every now and then as well. I haven't been to one for the past few months, but maybe think the next step would be to convene a meeting and bring in some of your resources and we can figure out how to work with the city manager to timeline this out.
I think one thing that would be ideal is if a community member is wanting to use it, have them bring it up to Hector or to the council, and this is why we want to use it for this. And for us, I think being able to identify as how is it going to benefit our city is what we want to look at. I just don't want that community center to be for an individual that's making money, making profit off of it, because that's not what my vision was. My vision is for our city to use it, for them to benefit from it, for our kids.
And for other members of the community too, certainly.
Yeah.
Maybe we can brainstorm on how to advertise this. I don't know if it's something that we can post online and see who, like, if there's an interest in community members that want to step up to the occasion and volunteer. That way we have a set list of those who we can start contacting and the conversations can evolve from there.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and not to go so in depth, but I have had some ideas. I've kind of been brainstorming as well, just kind of in regards of, a lot of people in the beginning will say, I want to volunteer, but then when the time comes, the day comes, sometimes it doesn't come through from experience as well. So just kind of like maybe even like creating like a block time where like let's start with something small and see the consistency of it all. But I have several ideas, so I'd be more than happy to sit down with Ramon and talk and kind of like just navigate this whole situation.
Counselor Sasaki?
Who, is it Hector? Do you work the schedule out or would that help come
Oh,
from?
that would be me.
Okay.
So, like I said, my door's always open. We're more than welcome to have a conversation and, get this taken care of and get it on the right track.
Great. Thank you.
Safari downtown building status. I mean, Mr. Dolan has had a trip in there as well as Mr. Taylor, and I think we've spoken to the owner. So update, please.
Oh,
Hector was also there.
Oh, and Hector, not to leave you out.
I want to share the blame.
Yeah, we were able to get a hold of the owner, meet with them down there. The building is secure. They check a couple times a week. There are no leaks. There's no obvious deterioration in anything. I was surprised to see how far it was along. The interior walls are framed up. There's a lot of electrical, plumbing, and it's all in good shape in there. So they're hoping, there's not a for sure timeline, but hopefully by the end of the year to be able to start working on finishing it or maybe sell it to somebody that can. So, and if Tom wants to add anything to that, more than welcome.
Well, I was very impressed with the progress they made on it, and it's, I was always curious what's going on in there, but it's very well framed up already for a restaurant or maybe a nightclub or something. It's very well designed, and it looks like they planned way ahead that some of the sprinkler piping's in place, and they've got their stub ups in all the places where they would have utilities at the countertops and the. So I was impressed. I just thought it was an empty shell, and somebody's done a lot of work in there.
I got a question really quick. Mr. Dolan, what is the holdup for the continued working with that? Is that still insurance?
I have no idea what that was about.
It sounded like there were some legal issues.
Yes.
We're not able to really disclose nor ask them exactly what's going on, but there were definitely legal issues from insurance, the construction process to the point that it's at. So
I think it was more of a visit to make sure that nothing was going to fall off of that thing and hurt anybody. And it's definitely, whoever's building it is definitely doing a pretty good job on it. I asked about the basement because I know the Safari had a basement. And she said they filled it all in and compacted it and poured slabs over everything. So it doesn't exist anymore.
Wow.
yeah, and that was filled with engineered fill, which is a special mix of rock and sand and everything with compaction testing, several layers coming up to make it suitable to build on. And as long as it sit there the way it is, there's not a crack or a settlement anywhere around there. I have no concerns with that side of it at all. So
very good concrete work.
Yep.
So are they also owners of the building that the empty lot that's next to it?
no, that's actually two separate lots and there's two separate owners on those two, in the empty ones.
wow.
Any other questions? Yakima Homeless Coalition, Ms. Hart.
We're going to be having a meeting later this month for the coalition. One of the things that, I don't remember the date off the top, it's in my other book, but
February 2nd.
thank you, February.
Well, that's when they're going to come and.
They're coming to Sunnyside and going to meet with the council on this February 2nd. That's right. I think they had, I was thinking of their general meeting coming up later, but yeah, they will be here to talk about what progress is happening and what kinds of things they can be doing. That'll be County Commissioner Kyle Curtis, I believe. But and as an aside to that, so we will have that going on so we can do some talking. And when you were talking about volunteering at the community center and having those things, you know, when we just recently had a situation where if we'd been in better shape, prepared, we might have been able to use that for some homeless situations that are happening at the Silverstone hotel over there. But Mr. City Manager, would you mind bringing us up to giving us an up-to-date on that?
Right. So last Monday on Martin Luther King Day, approximately about 2:30 in the afternoon, I got a phone call from Councilmember Vasquez about the situation at the Silverstone Light Motel. Where it appeared, or the information we have, that the owner had shut the power off to the residents that are in the east building. And what could we do about it? And she had been contacted by, I believe, Ruby Medina at the time. And so I started making some phone calls. I called Ms. Hart. I called Yakima County Commissioner Cal Curtis. I called Police Chief Lehman. Just trying to find, parts and pieces. How can we address this? Because certainly the city of Sunnyside does not have a homeless services, or excuse me, a human services department to deal with this. It took a couple hours, because it was a holiday weekend, to get some folks to call me back. Mr. Curtis called me and said that his staff at the Yakima County Human Services Division would reach out first thing Tuesday morning. And then in the meantime, I had Chief Lehman prepared to go send officers over there, knock on doors, and make sure folks were all right. But some other police calls came up later that night, but through the assistance of Ruby Medina and some folks that she knew, they were able to take some hot meals over those folks and some blankets and things of that nature to keep them going. The next day, we found out that I believe Chief Lehman and Yakima County Human Services folks, Melissa, and I don't think I remember her last name. Yeah, they showed up, and we're speaking with the former owner. Apparently, he owned the property. It went bankrupt, and the bank took it over. But he's working with the bank now to sell the property. He was on site. And we were trying to determine how the power got shut off, because we had called PP&L. PP&L had no record of the power being shut off. We had information that a number of folks were going to be evicted later that week. Through Mr. Lehman's efforts, we found out that no eviction notices had been filed with the court. No legal action had been taken that would allow that to happen in the time frame that was mentioned. Well, the unfortunate part we found out was that the owner had shut the power off himself. And there are approximately 33 residents. With the help of Human Services, Yakima County Human Services, we were able to relocate several of those individuals. Human Services stayed on site for a couple days, I believe, to assess the situation. I believe Camp Hope stepped up to pay the power bill because the bank that now owns it and the former owner, manager, whatever he calls himself there, wasn't willing to pay it. And so, then an agreement had been made to help the folks that were still in the residence transition out over a 45-day period. Well, unfortunately, yesterday, Mr. Mejia's water crew in the Public Works Department got a phone call, I believe, from a tenant that the water was coming through the ceiling. They had a frozen pipe leak and bust. And so we had to shut the water off to the building so no further damage to the building could happen and that we would be liable for. But unfortunately, there's no water there, and there are still folks there. And the gentleman is refusing to call in a plumber to fix the site. And so tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, we are meeting with Yakima Human Services to kind of, again, look at what's going on and what can be done. Unfortunately, like I said, the city doesn't have the staff or the means at this time to deal with this. We certainly don't want to see it happen again, but I think it's something that the council needs to, if they would like to address going forward, not particularly right now at this meeting, but a future meeting to discuss if the city wants to take on a role so that this happens in the community again, that we are better prepared, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Chavez.
Are we not, so what resources are we sending them over to Camp Hope?
Yeah, Camp Hope was able to take some of the residents. They don't take, at this time, families. And there were some folks that required medical attention and they weren't set up for that. So, but I do know that a few of the folks did take up Camp Hope that next day and they were transported down to Camp Hope for current living arrangements.
I think the city is in dire need of a safety plan in the case of these instances, natural disasters. If God forbid COVID ever happens again. But this was a really clear indication that we are not prepared to deal with issues like what happened at the hotel. We are also not prepared, given the inclement weather now and what's coming, to deal with those who are experiencing homelessness and providing them warm shelter. I know there was an attempt at that a couple years ago, but I know that their proper procedures may not have been followed, and we never tried to actually come back and attempt to do it again. But our city is definitely under prepared for moments like these, and we really have to come together to plan out to plan out these types of plans, I guess, strategic planning around this. And I don't know if we add it to the list, or if at this point we create a workshop session to start conversations around this. Go ahead.
So I did talk during our committee on Thursday. I did talk with the police chief and our fire chief. Comprehensive wants to work with the community to be able to address those needs. I did tell both chiefs to call Leticia. She's works for Comprehensive. She's actually my sister. She's the one that runs Comprehensive to be able to address, and she wants to be a part of the planning because that's what we're doing over in Ellensburg. So I'm hoping they called her to be able to address that. I didn't get a chance to see Letty today, but I'll be calling her, meeting with her tomorrow, see if they did contact with her, because that's something that we do need. And they're offering to help and be able to be part of that. We do that over in Ellensburg, so I'm hoping that they did contact with her.
Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, one of the things that was kicked around during this when we were trying to figure out what we were going to do with the folks who were at the hotel and where we were going to find safety for them. We talked about the possibility of reopening the community center. A couple of years ago, we did buy the cots and I think sleeping bags. Not sure exactly where they are. They should have been at the community center stored there somewhere.
They still are.
I think that they are, yes. And I was thinking, that there's a couple of churches, like you're talking about a church. There's the one over on Lincoln is also doing some things with hot meals. So if we can bring like Comprehensive Health, if we can bring in those churches who are already starting to formulate plans, if we can get them together and create a little commission or something to help with the homeless situation for those because we're really talking about inclement weather types of situations. And this was really a snowball, how this, plus they turn off the heat. And of course, the pipes are going to freeze and create water problems, so.
That warrants, I think, another.
I think
session
we need
for a
to.
deeper discussion
Yeah.
on this for sure. Counselor Vasquez?
Yeah, no, so I was gonna say everything that Ramon said, that's amazing. I think I would be interested if even if your sister, you'd be willing to invite her and have her come forth and kind of even do a presentation, right, of the resources that Comprehensive has to offer and how we could work in a partnership. I'm just curious to know some more information as well.
Because we do have EDS, Vista del Sol. I do a lot of the referrals over for the homeless to be able to work with them, to be able to provide housing for them. The thing that with our grant that we have that money is that they have to be in services with Comprehensive for that too, which, I mean, you got to understand they're struggling with substance use and mental health. So regardless, it's part of the realm of where we're at. So she's willing to work with that and help out. So we'll let you guys know kind of where they're at on that.
So I think Councilmember Dolan, did you have a question?
I just wanted to share an experience with the downtown improvement we did a few years back, and we all had our duties, and one of mine was to call these building owners and talk to them about we had monies available to fix up their storefronts, and the one I talked to about the Howard's drug building, he said that I better lawyer up, because if we go inside that building and touch anything of his building, that you would be facing a big lawsuit for some reason. It's something to keep in mind if we're doing the best we can to help these people, and I think that's a great thing. I meet with a lot of the pastors of these churches every week, and I'll bring that up at our next meeting. The thing about the water and the electrical, if he's not going to move on that, I would look at legal help for the people involved because that's not right. And if we get involved with that, then we're facing possible legal challenges in that direction.
And we did actually reach out to the Washington Attorney General's office.
Yeah, you mentioned
Office
that.
of Civil Rights, to see if they would step in. And I think we are aware now that, another, legal, foundation is coming on board to help with these folks as well. So, but again, and I forgot to mention, the power had been shut off for 18 days. And then I remember I was interviewed on the news, and the gentleman asked me what was my takeaway, and my takeaway was, if you're in a situation like that, and your power goes off or your water goes off, you need to reach out, find somebody to reach out. Go, if you can get on the street, flag somebody down the street, but don't wait 18 days when it's sub-freezing temperatures outside. Find somebody to help you.
I remember we used to have a homeless shelter in front of the middle school, Harrison Middle School, the church. My memory serves me right. It's been years, but I don't know whatever happened with that.
Presbyterian Church.
Yeah.
What would be next steps? Do we want to schedule a workshop to deal with this?
I think that would be a good idea.
Maybe bring
Some
in
of these people.
resources. I know y'all are connected to some of the churches. You're connected to some of the resources.
This is a good idea.
Okay. Jackie, would you mind trying to gather a date sometime, maybe email and try to gather a date for us?
Yes, the next study session is April 6th. That's available. Is that too far out, or do you want to?
I think probably.
March, we're doing council roles and responsibilities
It would probably have to be a special.
Maybe we can do,
and receive a budget update.
It would probably have to be a special meeting.
Yeah.
Are you all agreeable to
Yeah.
adding another meeting to y'all schedule?
In February,
February.
What day of February?
Well, we'll just,
I can pull everybody and see.
February is really tough. Can we just do it in April? Because some people are leaving to DC. Some people are going to be leaving to Olympia. I know my schedule is really booked for February due to wrestling season. So
Instead of April, could we do March? That way we're not pushing
Yeah.
it so far along.
Yeah.
well, it's like we can't do it all at once anyway. We got to get a hold of the different people that we think we
yeah,
can resource. So that's probably a better idea.
I'll be more free in March as well.
Okay, so if you please keep maybe the last 2 weeks of March, see what your schedules are, and I will message everybody to see what we can come up with. Is that okay, the last few weeks of March? Okay, all right.
All right. Okay, y'all, we have to move this along because we do have a 9 o'clock deadline unless there's an amendment or a motion to amend the time. Is there anything else on that report list?
There is.
Wayfinding signs and museum status.
I will get together with Ms. Hart for the museum, Ms. Vasquez for the wayfinding signs.
Okay, let's talk.
Yes, we'll set up
schedule
dates
something.
and we'll
Okay.
sit down and talk.
Talk with you
Okay.
too.
All right.
Museum waste.
On the museum, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. And we'll try to find a date in March. Okay. So see other reports, announcements, and/or questions by council. I'll go ahead and start from down the dais. Counselor Chavez,
no.
Counselor Sasati,
Nothing to report.
Counselor Vasquez.
Yeah, so I actually attended the public safety meeting with both chief, police and fire chief, and we had great conversations. They will be bringing up some items here shortly, and I'm ready to share everything that we discussed about with you all here soon. I also, we were invited to the TA Travel Center in Grandview. I was able to participate, and it was really nice to see 3 cities come together. You know, this is a big win for the city of Grandview, but Prosser came and Sunnyside came, and we were all just talking. Many council members showed up. All the courts showed up, and it was just really nice because this was a large investment, and it's been very successful. It was really nice, and in that spot alone, they have been able to create over 100 jobs, which will not only benefit the city of Grandview, but it will also benefit the neighboring cities around, pulling in youth from Sunnyside, pulling in youth from Prosser. And it's just an amazing opportunity. And They've just been so generous and very thankful that it's just been a smooth process all around. So I just wanted to shout out the city of Grandview for their good work, and even the Port of Grandview, the Chamber of Commerce, and they've just been doing an outstanding job. And yes, the motel situation. So I had received a call from Ruby Medina. It was pretty intense, like the whole situation all around, and quite honestly inhumane. And right away I called Jim, and I know that we're limited with resources and everything, but I did talk to him, and I said, Jim, at the end of the day, this is a business. At the end of the day, we did approve a whole business license endorsement from the city. So we need to do something, even pull any strings possible. He right away remembered that Councillor Hart was on the homeless committee and said, let me pass this information along. And I said, go for it, anything that we can do to help. So all around, I just want to really extend my gratitude and thankfulness to Jim. Thank you so much for stepping up. Thank you so much for calling and making all the phone calls to responding to this matter very quickly, and even talking to all the constituents. They told me that they appreciated it more than words can express. And I actually have a list of a few people who just stepped up, who really, really stepped up for community. I want to thank Jennifer Martinez, and she's actually present today. She stepped up and she paid out of her own pocket. She bought blankets, she bought pizza for the families, hot coffee and drinks, and her and many others. Just thank you so much, because there's not a lot of people who would be willing to do this, but you did, and that matters a lot. And I want to thank Julia Hart for the constant communication, back and forth calls between us two, just trying to navigate what can we do, how can we help. I want to thank both fire and police chief for also stepping up as soon as Jim told them, and just handing out any resources. They didn't really have much teeth in the matter, but they still showed up, and the presence matters. It shows that Sunnyside actually stepped up, and I've talked, well, some of those people have talked to Jennifer, and they've just expressed their thankfulness. So just good job all around. There wasn't much, of like that the city could have done more, but I do believe, and I agree with our mayor, that we should be more moving forward, more kind of like brainstorming with what resources we can create so we could prevent this from happening ever again. So thank you for that. And that's pretty much all I have for today.
Thank you, Councillor Vasquez. Councillor Dolan?
I'd just like to echo Councillor Vasquez's talking about the grand opening at the Travel Center. I'd like to put a face to that, and it was Monica Niemeyer that spearheaded most of it. And great help from everybody in bringing these cities together. That was pretty fun to be involved with that. And let's see. Oh, the public safety meeting. That was quite a great meeting. I look forward to the next one. They have a lot of great ideas they laid on us, and I was impressed with that whole thing too.
You good?
Councillor Galvan?
Yeah, so, council, as you know, I'm part of the district advisory committee, and we met a couple weeks ago with Ryan Maxwell. He just wanted to share some of the issues that he's had in the past. I sent an email to the mayor and Jim Bridges, but they have some summer school or summer programs that they have every year. And in the past, they've had issues with the pavilion not being available, no water in the drinking fountains, access to the gym to feed the kids during the summer programs. I know that Councilor Chavez, the gym is a huge importance of you and myself, and I think all of us here. But I think the school district and the city should have that constant communication, so we can make sure that if they're providing these programs, and if we have the resources, why have an empty gym, right? Why have an empty cafeteria? If they can use it, let's team up with them. The bathrooms also were closed, so maybe going forward, I don't know, with the city manager, we could make a plan, meet with them, maybe on a weekly basis or every 2 weeks or so. Another thing that was talked about is maybe have extra patrols during the mornings and afternoons. I think it was the third kid that was hit. Luckily, it wasn't that bad, but just extra patrols during the morning hours and the afternoon hours. It really does a difference. If they see a cop car out there, they could slow down and, I don't know, it could help. Anything will help. Also, the school district is getting some grant money for that summer school or the summer programs, and some of the money is being allocated for swim lessons. So we do have the pool being funded, and I think the city could benefit from some of that money if we could plan something and have something in place, with the school. I definitely think that's a big win for everybody. Also, just like to remind council, and I did send over an email to the mayor, RCW 35.82 Housing Authority laws. We need to make sure that these laws are followed. So it reads, at least once a year, an authority shall file with the clerk a report of its activities for the preceding year and shall make recommendations with reference to such additional legislation or other action as deemed necessary in order to carry out the purpose of this charter. So I think the year before I was elected, the Housing Authority did come in and report to council. They haven't done it since. So I really hope that the mayor or city manager can get that report to us and maybe have them come in and share that report with the whole council. That's up.
Just made note of it again.
Mhm.
Yeah. Deputy Mayor Hart.
I just want to say that was a very, very exciting afternoon when we were dealing with the Silverstone situation. I think everybody we talked to was really got right onto the phone to the people. There was like a huge phone chain going on, talking to everybody that we could think of, to what can we do? Where can we get clothing? Where can we get blankets? Where are some cots? How do we get Camp Hope? All of that different things. And I want to commend everyone who took part in that. And Jim, thanks so much for heading that all up and following up on it with the human resources folks. And I'm excited to see what we can put together with some sort of a group together with all the different resources we now know that are available. We just need to now put them in a place where we can actually work them and have them at our beck and call when we have these kind of situations. I'm very excited about that. I do want to meet soon with the LTAC committee. We have some things we want to talk about. Namely, I think the one we're reconsidering is the Sunnyside Sunnyside float, I think is on the LTAC. And I've already received some comments from one or two of the members who are kind of grumpy about it, but we'll get back to you on that one. The other thing I do want to mention before I move on that, something I didn't really want to have to bring up in open meeting, but I think I'm going to since so many people ask about it. Is that all right? I want to talk about the climate resiliency meeting that was held when was that? Wednesday last week?
This week. This week or
It was last week. It was last week. It seems like it was yesterday. It was so vivid in my mind. One of the things that is a misconception about whether or not we use Robert's Rules of Order. Yes, of course, we use Robert's Rules of Order. Unfortunately, the meeting had not been called to order yet when one of the advisory commission members decided to get excited. We were talking about concerns we were going to want to talk to when we had a full quorum. We were not at a full quorum when all of that discussion was going on. That did not happen until quite a bit later. By then, I had already decided that we were just going to adjourn the meeting simply because the man just could not get a hold of himself. He was throwing out Robert's Rules of Order like he knew what they were for. He had them all messed up. None of them were, because we were not in a we were not called to order. What he was saying made no sense. But he continued to be abusive to the members who were there. He was abusive to all of the members who were there. And even when we finally got a quorum, but by that point, it was so out of control. And I know that Hector, Mr. Medina, stepped up to try to get a hold of stuff. And I finally said, no, let me handle this. And the thing was, as I am supposed to, because I am the chair of that committee, and I have to say that he simply would not take and wait his turn. There was already somebody talking. He wouldn't wait his turn. He continued to be abusive. He was abusive after we told him to stop. He was abusive even after we decided to adjourn the meeting. He continued to be aversive. Then he started sending out emails to everybody. And let me tell you, these are not nice. They are not nice at all, and I want to enter those in into the public record as to being quite disturbing. He was very abusive to one of the other members of the commission. We are there to do a job. We have a responsibility to look at what we need to do as resources for client resiliency and how that impacts our comprehensive growth plan. This man doesn't want to help. He has not helped at any of the meetings that he's attended. He's not helped at any of the meetings he's attended. He's been disruptive at every single one. I know that somebody put out there every single meeting that we had been. If you go back, you want to look at it, he's been abusive at every single one of them. I had another member who came to me and says, you need to get a gavel, Julia. You need to get a hold of this meeting. Well, I think my better plan would be to ask for the removal of this gentleman from the Climate Resiliency Advisory Committee.
I have a question, Deputy Mayor.
Go ahead, Councilor Vasquez.
Is he the only one who's being abusive in those meetings and
Yes,
not having control?
yes.
Okay.
Councilor Dolan?
I would like to point out that the rules to be followed would have cured all this if they were followed. And that what I witnessed was at the time you called, the meeting was supposed to start, you take the roll, you record who was there, and you gavel for adjournment if you don't have a quorum. Instead, you allowed this to continue. People spoke up out of turn because they were arguing about, well, how do we, we don't even have a.
They didn't, there wasn't a real topic to be arguing about. This gentleman was not arguing about a specific thing. His name was mentioned and he took offense.
Can I answer?
Councilor
I think there's been a lot of mistakes with this climate resilience. First off, you did have a quorum. There was 5 of them. There's 7 members, and I could read their last names. So it's Van de Graaf, Alvarez, Anderson, Fernandez, Cottrell, Mejia, and Hart. There's 7 members. A quorum is 4 of those members. You had 5 members present, and it's on the city website. There's 7 members, and there was a quorum. I know there was a public comment that maybe the presence of everybody in the room should be something, especially with the chair. So it needs to be shown that, the Robert's Rules of Orders do need to be followed. If there isn't a quorum, then you need to adjourn like Mr. Dolan says, but at the time you did have a quorum.
May I? Having a quorum or not having a quorum does not negate the fact that the man was belligerent and he was disrespectful to the other committee members. I don't know if we all saw the same video, because I know what I saw and I know what other council members have seen and have spoken up about. This man I believe I attended one of those meetings because I actually took a youth that was interested in participating. That youth left very, very spooked from that meeting. And when I was leaving that meeting, her and I were actually walking out, and I ran into another committee member that said that this committee member had actually laid his hands on him and slapped him on the back. We do not do that on commissions or boards. Okay? Then he proceeds to send out, He proceeds to send out harassing emails using two other, this is now on public record, if anybody wants to make public records requests, because many people are really good at it. This is on public record, him sending pictures of, with Nazi symbols, okay? Also saying, grow some testicles to other committee members, and also saying, sit at the corner like the dog you are. You tell me that Robert's Rules of Order were not followed, but this or that outweighs any of these disparaging emails or comments, and this is okay for any commissioner or any board member to display on behalf of the city of Sunnyside. That will not be allowed. I will not allow it, and I will advocate fully for the removal of this member from the committee. The Climate Resiliency Board is already behind on work. We didn't have a quorum till about the fall. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jackie.
I'd have to verify.
We have deliverables to meet on December 2026. HLA has been helping and supporting with that. This person is a hinder to progress, and we need to continue on moving with the work. And someone like this is continuously creating chaos. And I will ask you all to not accept this type of behavior, Nazi signals, Nazi signs. Well, let's not engage the public. So this is not okay. This is not okay. Not during this time when these people are actually being equated to ICE that are terrorizing our community. This is a slap in the face for the residents of Sunnyside, and it is a slap in the face for the rest of the Climate Resiliency Board, and it was a lack of the utmost disrespect to our chair.
I agree that's not allowable. This is the first time I'm seeing that, and this shouldn't be allowed by anybody on any commission or any board. So
Well,
I agree with you.
When I saw this made me the utmost furious. I can't believe that someone still, well, no, I guess I can believe because of just the climate of the state of the union that we are living in, that people would find it acceptable or even humorous to be sending this stuff out. Again, this is public record for anybody who wants to submit a public record.
Who was that sent out to?
This was sent out to, I believe it was Mr. Alvarez.
It's to Mr. Alvarez, and it was very disparaging. Pretty much, it was awful. The other thing I want to just mention on that this has been going on since we did start meeting, and it was in October. I'll just pass it down. There's some other stuff in there as well. He's been abusive in so many different ways for people. I mean, even when he shows up in person, nobody but him can talk. He's the only one who knows things. We brought in an expert on the SVID water because he didn't know what that was all about. He was spouting lies and misinformation about the SVID. So I asked the SVID manager, Mr. Feltman, to come and talk to us about what their conservation issues were and how they were doing. And he wanted to argue those. And
So what does the council want to do? Because we can sit here all day, talk about it, but I think we need to make a decision about it right now.
is removed.
I don't agree with any of that. That's not right. And no one should ever be sending anything like that of that sort. However, for me, I think, Sharon Dolan made a comment earlier, and I think
Point of
that-
order. Can we address the chair to be recognized when we're going to talk? Please, that's
I think that's
Robert's
proper
rules.
to do that.
Thank you, Mr. Dolan. Counselor Dolan. Go ahead, Counselor Vasquez.
You weren't recognized,
Yes.
honest.
Okay, and I think that a community member, actually, Sharon Dolan, came up and made public comment and made a very valid point, So I think that altogether, we should actually, as a council, come together and follow these rules that are already in place, and let's just start fresh and let's get this moving forward in a better way.
Madam Mayor, and one of the things that Ms. Norton, our city attorney, said earlier, and we had it read into the record about who is to be on these committees and commissions and advisories. And one of them was if they're a resident of the community. back when this man was suggested to be a member of the commission, he had no reason to represent Sunnyside. He doesn't live here, doesn't have a business here. He's not part of the growth plan for the city of Sunnyside. He had no actual business being here. He was approved to be on there. I think it was a 4-3 vote or a 4-2 vote. I can't remember exactly. But I know that he didn't meet any of the requirements that we talked about earlier tonight. And we do need to be more careful of about who we do put on these commissions, because we do want them to represent our community, and the things that we want to accomplish. And we are,
Coming up on 9 o'clock.
yes, let me just say one more thing and then we can make a thing. I do wish to make the motion to have the man removed from the, I'm sorry, I'm calming down now. Calm down to say from the client resiliency, we are making progress. We are making progress on the client resiliency. We've worked very hard with Joseph, I remember his name, Calhoun from HLA. He's been working with us very diligently. We've got a survey coming up pretty soon that we're going to release to everybody in the community. We're going to have it in English and in Spanish. We're going to have it on the website. We're going to have paper surveys out. And then from there, we're planning later on, probably this spring, we're going to have a forum so that the community can come together and talk about what things that they see that are climate things that are impacting our community. We are making progress. We are, but it's been a very, very difficult go. And I want to say thank you to the members of that committee who have stuck with us to do it, because I think that there's been many times they would have just as soon stood up and walk out and not take that kind of abuse. But that's my motion, is that I want him removed.
There's a motion on the table.
Is there a second?
Is there a second?
You know, after seeing this, I'm going to second that motion. We don't need this in our town. This is not right. I second it.
Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
I just want to be sure the council is aware of Rule 250040. The members of a citizen advisory board serve at the pleasure of the city council and can be removed by a majority vote. There's no special requirements or criteria. So
Thank you, Julie.
you can make this.
Okay. So there's a motion, there's a second. We'll go ahead and just.
Debate?
Any debate?
Go ahead. Is there any debate? Any further debate on this? We're coming up on 9 o'clock. And we will have to make an amendment. Go ahead.
So I think for the same reasons that Ms. Hart mentioned, we should also consider removing Ms. Fernandez for not having a residency in Sunnyside.
And I would agree.
The SMC also says that they will serve at the pleasure of the council. Ms. Fernandez hasn't been sending out emails with Nazi soldiers. She hasn't been making inappropriate references or sexual innuendos. She also hasn't put her hands on any other committee member. So I don't see how her questions during the committee supersede anything of what's going on with Mr. Gartrell.
No, and I don't believe that any of us are saying that she has. I just think that going back to the code that we just read all together on that screen, I think that we should just also follow that and start and do this correctly from the get-go. And that's my part.
I believe, Julie, could you remind us of that code? And I believe that majority of the folks on any board or commission shall now be majority out of the city.
Correct. Right. Yeah, no advisory board or commission may maintain a majority of non-resident members.
There's not majority of non-resident members. I would not have an issue with Mr. Gartrell continuing to stay on this committee if his behavior was conducted differently. And it is not. It has been chaotic since day one. So if the entire board was there and doing great work and this one man hasn't been the issue since day one, I could entertain that, Councilor Vasquez. And I wouldn't be opposed because they are living outside of city limits, but this is chaotic. It is disparaging, it is belligerent, and this is someone that I do not want representing the city of Sunnyside in any capacity. Go ahead, Counselor.
You know, I honestly, I don't know the individual. But this was enough for me right here. This was enough for me. I don't know the individual, but when you put this and you send this out and you use this propaganda to a city that is filled with Latinos, that just doesn't sit well with me.
I'd like to call for the vote.
Okay. Deputy Mayor has called for the vote. I will go down the list for a roll call. Councilmember Chavez.
No, I don't want to.
I don't want him here.
Nope.
What's can you?
What was
Uh,
it? Yeah, can you
yeah.
clarify?
Let's do the motion.
The motion is to have Mr. Control removed from the Resiliency Advisory Committee. That's my motion, is to have him removed. So the answer would be those in favor.
Yes.
Yes.
Point of order. So in order to call the question to vote, we need a supermajority. So you would need to take a vote on that.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well, is there any other debate?
I
I can leave it
Because
with
there's a
that.
second
Yeah.
on
I
the
thought there
table,
was
we
a-
have to go down.
Tom still had his hand up.
I would like to see us follow the SMCs. And she recited part of one to us. I mean, the whole thing's basically states you have to live in this city to be on these boards and commissions. We also need to follow Robert's Rules of Order and the rules that the Rules Committee put in there that says you will stop the meeting at the beginning without a quorum. I was understanding that voting members made a quorum. Councilman Galvan showed me on here, I haven't read it yet, but that members of this committee are not voting members, is what I understand. Do you have a vote in any decision there? I've never heard you do a vote in any committee.
That's true. So that's true.
Okay, and are you a voting member, Julia?
I'm not a voting member.
So we had a total of 3. I heard him, watching the video, I heard him call for a point of order, which was ignored. He did it probably 4 or 5 times and said, we don't have a quorum. You know, this is not a quorum and she's not allowed to attack either he or Karen Vandegraff. And what I saw was basically a verbal attack that happens quite often with this member. So I'm trying to stay real neutral on this, but what I saw in that video was a lot different than what I'm hearing. I was also told that you cannot stop a recording until the meeting has been adjourned. And I think she adjourned the meeting and then you turned off the recording, which was very close together, and that's perfect. But also, you need to watch that video and follow along with Robert's Rules of Order. And why wasn't this addressed by the chair when the point of order was called? The point of order stops everything, and you have to address the point of order. And when you're interrupted while you have the floor, that's violating a point of order.
There is a motion on the floor, please.
But if you want to end
This is discussion after the second, Julia. Then why are you saying that?
Because I want to move on.
We have to second and we have to do a roll call because there's already a motion.
So we're not in debate.
No,
We can't end debate unless we have a supermajority vote.
Cannot deny debate.
I have a question if I can.
Go ahead.
Jackie, I keep hearing voting members and non-voting members, but I guess to my recollection, there's 7 members, right? And they all have a vote. And the 7 members are seated, which I named them earlier. So what's the big confusion? They all can vote. There's 7 members. 4 of them is a quorum. What's the confusion here?
Where are you getting 7?
They're right there on the website.
So you got Mr. Alvarez.
Yeah.
You have Mr. Kenton. You have Maria Fernandez. You have Karen Vandegraff, who was late to the meeting, and that's why we were not moving forward. Mr. Anderson has not attended a single meeting. He's been non-excused. Who is the other?
Hector Mejia and Hart.
But Hector is there as staff.
No,
He
Corey
is?
is there as staff. Hector is a
No.
member of, Jackie?
That is correct. There weren't enough members at the time, I believe, and that's why they appointed the staff members.
But there still wasn't quorum.
There was quorum.
There wasn't quorum until Karen Vandegraff came on.
And that was after all of this other point of order and all this other stuff. We had not called the meeting to order.
Jackie,
It had not been called to order.
Was there quorum at the beginning? You know them, you don't know the members that were there?
I know that Juan Alvarez was there, Maria Fernandez was there, Julia Hart was there, Hector Mejia. And I don't know what time Karen signed on, but I was told that she was. That would be 5. And Kenton, that's 6.
So there was quorum at the beginning.
Not at the beginning.
I don't know. I'd have to look at the login history to see who was there, but just having Hector, Maria, Juan, and Kenton, you have a quorum.
Even Julia,
And Julia.
there was already a quorum.
I was under the impression, I guess maybe I jumped the gun or something, but I was under the impression we didn't have a quorum at the time, so.
And quorum or no.
Or no quorum, that
and-
still
and
doesn't.
there's-
We get that.
I think there's a learning curve around this with chairing the meetings. I've been a proponent of having onboarding, a stricter onboarding, a more robust onboarding experience for everyone. So there's the issue with following Robert's rules and procedures. However, that does not negate the fact that this person's behavior
Can you speak in the microphone, please?
has been inappropriate. And that's the motion on the table.
Can I, as long as we're in the debate mode still? Are we still?
Yeah.
I would just like to say that I have to tell you that I have been chairing meetings for a good portion of my life. And I've always followed Robert's Rules of Order. I was under the impression, and maybe mistakenly, that I did not have a quorum. So I had not called the meeting to order yet. We had not been called to order yet. Even if we did have a quorum, we had not been called into order. I think we were we knew that Karen was coming in late. We were waiting a little bit for her to be there so we could all be on the same page. We thought while we were waiting, we would talk just about a couple other things that we probably weren't going to be taking any action on till we were going to move into the regular form of the meeting. If that is the case, I apologize. I am on there as ex officio. So whatever the heck that means, I'm there as ex officio.
That means you have a vote or you don't.
And I think it belongs to the members who are there, but I honestly, folks, if you had been sitting in that room and then received those emails as a follow-up, I think you would be as upset as I am about this. And I really, really and truly, guys, he's not contributing a blessed thing. And I think we need to remove him so that we can move ahead with the work that we have to do for us. And
Go ahead, Councilor Chavez.
I have like I said from the beginning, I don't know this individual, but my question to council, are you guys okay with the stuff that he sent out? Are you guys okay with the behaviors? That's what I don't understand. That is what really gets to me, because what he sent, the stuff that he's sending out, the propaganda that he's sending out, the hatred that he's sending out, I don't even know him, but that alone boils my blood. And I can see Councilor Vasquez nodding to it, because I think honestly, she's probably looking at it and feeling the same way. That is not correct. That is not right. That is not what Sunnyside is.
We're gonna need, there's already a motion on the table. We're gonna have to.
Discussion is still open.
We need to extend the meeting. We're beyond 3 hours. So
That's a
I
point
think
of
we
order.
need to pause the debate and make a motion to extend the meeting so that we continue the meeting. So
I'm okay with continuing the meeting. If
Well, that's a
everybody
point
else-
of order.
We have to have a motion.
And so the motion is to continue the meeting. I'll make that motion.
Here a second.
Second.
Okay. Any objections?
Can we get a time limit?
Well, it's now 11, it's 9:11, 9:11, 9:10.
Mind you, you all are keeping the public hanging.
And our peers that are here with
You
us, so
have the staff.
I think we need to just,
And we do have an
Going.
executive session to also go into, so we need to consider that as well.
yeah.
That can be, that doesn't have to be a roll call vote.
Per the rules and procedures, there has to be a roll call vote.
Yeah, we're just,
Well, this is a, oh
Yeah.
yeah, this has to be a
yeah, it does.
supermajority.
Well,
So we've already got,
So we've extended the meeting.
4,
Who, somebody else,
5, so that'd be 6 of 7 so far. I think you're the only one that didn't vote yet.
nobody's voted, Counselor Dolan. I said there was no objection to extending the meeting, so we have extended the meeting.
Oh, we,
Do we have to say how
without a
long?
vote.
without exception. We could do it.
Okay. Is there a time? So who
Just
made
do
the
a roll
motion?
call. Just do a roll call.
Okay.
I made the motion.
And
For
George
how long?
seconded it.
I think George seconded.
How much longer?
I'd say 15 minutes.
How long, how, can I ask one?
we have an executive
How long
session.
is the executive session supposed to go? It doesn't say on our,
That was for you guys to decide how long.
oh,
Probably another 15.
so.
Okay, so do I hear a second, Counselor Govan?
Yeah, I second that, but not for the 15 minutes because we're gonna need more than that just for the executive session.
No, we're just talking about the extension to the meeting.
Yeah, I second the extension to me.
And Counselor Vasquez left, so I'll go ahead and do a roll call to the extension of the meeting.
Yes.
Counselor?
Yes.
Saldi? Counselor Dolan?
Yes.
Counselor Galvan?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor?
Yes.
I too vote yes. We will wait for Counselor Vasquez to return. We have to end the vote with Counselor Vasquez, and then you can proceed.
We already have a,
Put possible action. Yeah. Yeah.
Action, study session.
Oh, at the study session for the second?
Action for the discussion.
To table what?
Table the current record, current motion. To remove Ken. Table that to the second, and then take action for further discussion of action. And see if that's the desired.
Okay. We have to wait for Counselor Vasquez.
Yes.
point of order. We have a majority vote already without Counselor Vasquez vote either way. It won't matter.
Is that okay? Okay. Then we shall proceed.
I would like to address the chair.
Well, let's,
I would like to share a little bit of the other side of this discussion with an experience of mine. We were meeting with YVCOG Representative Lopez down here in these chambers, and in walks, it was an open public meeting, so that was fine. And in walks Maria Fernandez with some of her friends from Granger, I believe they told me. And she walked over and pointed at one of the attendees, and you were there, and pointed at one of the attendees and told him he was racist. Now, I have a background on why she said that. And I'd have to agree with her using that flyer as a weapon. I mean, as her reason for saying that. But the reason, I mean, the activity and the actions of Maria Fernandez were not acceptable either. I mean, they weren't this bad, but they were not acceptable for that meeting also. Let me finish, please.
There's a motion on the table. The debate is about the motion. That is, that does not.
But the motion was to continue the meeting.
No, the motion on the table that has passed, the motion now on the table is a removal of Kempton Cartel of the Climate Resiliency Board. And there has been a second. So now we're doing debate on that.
and that's the only person we're,
And I'm in a discussion about that.
Correct.
no.
No, the
okay.
debate is on the motion.
And so my interaction with this doesn't count as discussion on that particular motion either.
On the motion.
No,
Can I see it?
the discussion is about the motion.
Can I see it
The
again?
removal of Mr. Gartrell from the Climate Resiliency Board.
This is to share an experience that affects directly that that right there. I believe we should remove all of them from the Climate Resilience Committee and take new members on. Because what I witnessed was they shut us down, and this Lopez was here from YV was scared to death of their actions in that meeting. You were there. So was Mike Gonzalez. And your response was, I can't do anything about this. So that was a meeting also that our representative on the Climate Resilience Committee, where's that going? I would like to say, let's remove them all and avoid these conflicts in the future and get some people that can actually talk and, communicate in these meetings.
Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
We are talking about one person. We're not talking about another person. We are now talking, the motion is to remove Mr. Quintrell, I think I'm saying his name right, from the Climate Resiliency Board. We vote on that, then we vote on the other, something else. But right now, the question is around Mr. Quintrell. That's all we should be talking about. We're not anybody else who's on the commission or advisory group. The only person we're talking about at this point, and if Ms. Norton could weigh in on that, I think the only person with this motion we're to be talking about is the person we're asking to have removed.
That is accurate. If you want to make a separate motion to talk about other people on the committee or the committee as a whole, that would be a separate motion.
But this one, the vote for this one is just for this one person.
Yes.
And that's all the debate should be considered, be surrounded about.
I do want to answer, Councilor Chavez. I do have a problem with those emails. So I am in favor of removing Mr. Cottrell. But that shouldn't happen.
Whatever else we have to do, we'll deal with, but.
I too, not debate, but a comment. I too, will not tolerate or accept that behavior. So I will also not, I will vote to not have him there. However, I think we need to, I mean, I'll make another motion, but we need to also take under consideration other people, not just some.
I call a question.
We just go to a motion. We got 15 minutes and I think we've taken a lot out of that. People want to go home. Let's just do that.
I'm okay with that. Okay, so there's been a second. There's no more debate. We can go ahead and do a roll call.
Do the roll call.
Counselor Chavez.
To remove.
To remove.
It's yes.
Yes.
Cesati.
Yes.
Counselor Vasquez.
Yes.
Counselor Dolan.
Yes.
Counselor Galvan.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor.
Yes.
I too vote yes. Motion carries. Jackie, could we work on publishing the vacancy as soon as possible?
I'd like to make a motion to remove Maria Fernandez from that board.
I call the question.
A second.
Call the question requires a supermajority. Counselor Dolan, is there a second?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a debate? Hearing no debate.
One item. For the debate, one item I have is, I think that would be fair. What I watched should be remove all the disruptors.
And Tom Dolan made a comment right now about some behavior and some racist remarks having been said throughout a YV meeting. And I have heard this testimony from many others as well, and how it was unprofessional, so unlike a true leader for this community. So for me, I think it just needs to be fair all around. She is not a resident here, and I think that respect should be mutual If you want to be respected, you also need to give respect. So that's all I have to say.
Anybody else?
I think she does a lot of work with climate change and so forth. So I think her input in the advisory committee is valuable.
Mm.
Thank you. Counselor Galvan.
But we have SMCs to follow, and how are we gonna say let's apply these SMCs to certain people and not to others? I think we need to play fair.
But going back to the SMC, if it's up to council whether we make an exception to keep them here or not, regardless of their residence, as long as it's not majority of the folks on the commission.
Yeah, that's essentially, there's no express authority in there, but that is the presumption based on the fact that you have this language that that you can have non-resident members so long as they're not a majority.
And again, I've said it once, I've said it twice, now I'm gonna say it twice. I would not have had a problem with Mr. Gartrell serving in any capacity here if he was representing the city in good faith. And I don't think that has ever been his intention since day one. So we have a motion and then we have a second. We still have debate. Any other debate before I do a roll call?
I disagree.
Okay, anything else?
I think this action by him was totally uncalled for and way overboard. He tends to, in my conversation with him, he tends to get that way. And he's very adamant about Robert's rules, and he does know Robert's rules. And I think that we should clean the house and start over.
Okay, Deputy.
As long as we're still on the debate issue there, okay.
Can move it on.
I just want you to be reminded that we have to have this done. We have to have all of this work done by December 2026. And we started in November of this past year. I think it was, or was it October? Hector, can you refresh my memory?
October.
It was in October. So we've only had just a short time to work on it. We're getting closer to what we need to do. And I think we can move ahead. We've had the conversations. The only person who doesn't want to play by the rules is himself. And I think we can move ahead. If I think we can move ahead. But please let us do our work. Please let us do our work.
Counselor Vasquez and then Counselor Galvan.
These committee members should represent the city well and in good light and in good faith. And quite honestly, I could even say that there's many witnesses in this room right now who have seen Ms. Fernandez's behavior, and all up to when there's people doing public comment, throwing out cussing words, inappropriate remarks. It's been back and forth. We have all been witnesses to this. And there's proof everywhere. I could, quite honestly, anyone could find videos that are recorded and saved on YouTube of creating hostile environments for other people as well, including with myself. Once I was followed to my car, I didn't engage, and I was still followed to my car, literally quite to the very front of my car, while being recorded by a youth member, recorded because you guys wanted a reaction out of me. And then I get in my car, I did not feel safe, and I look and everyone's laughing at me. And that should not be done to anyone.
Counselor Galvan has a.
To Hart's point about finishing this off, I think that would leave, 5 members, and you guys could still meet and hopefully finish this off by the deadline. So let's, you could still meet with 5 members, and possibly you still see the other 2 if needed.
We just need to be allowed to move ahead.
Counselor Cesati.
Oh, I just wanted to share that, having sat over there quite often, that it's not just Maria Fernandez that makes comment or whatever. I've heard a lot of very disrespectful and disruptive comments from several of community members. Whether her voice is the loudest, maybe, I don't know. But like I said, I sat out there quite often and just was disgusted. And I actually left several times just disgusted of how us as adults behave. So that's just what I wanted to share.
Point of order. This is discussion, as it was before, is about one person.
She's talking about that one person.
No,
It's about Maria
she
Fernandez.
was talking about other people that brought up stuff near her. That she had heard. Am I wrong? I mean, I would admit that I do make a lot of mistakes, but you said other people, you've heard other people make comments, not just her, correct?
I think we just need to move forward. We can be here debating all night, and I think we just need to move forward.
Past my bedtime. All right.
Make it fair.
Thank you for that. We'll go ahead and do a roll call. There's no more debate. I'm just here chairing the meeting, or at least attempting to. Okay, I'll go ahead and just mix it up. Councilmember Dolan. Is that a
Can you
yes?
repeat the motion, please?
Karen, Councilor Vasquez made the motion. Can you please repeat it?
Can you please?
The motion was to remove Maria Fernandez from the Climate Resiliency Board. And then there was a second, and I don't remember who that second was.
From
It was
Galvin.
Galvin? Okay. Okay, Councilmember Dolan.
Yes.
Councilmember Vasquez.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hart.
No.
Councilmember Chavez.
No.
Councilmember Sasati.
No.
And I too vote no. Motion carries.
We got my vote.
Oh, you forgot.
Oh, I am so sorry. Councilmember Galvan. Okay. Motion still carries.
I think you mean motion fails.
Motion fails. Thank you. Thank you. Extend some grace. I'm tired. It's been almost 3 hours. So thank you, everybody, for engaging in this conversation. I think all notes are taken. These committees this just sets a tone for everybody that these committees will be watched thoroughly moving forward. And if there is another motion to entertain the behavior of another committee member, the actions of another committee member, we can circle back and bring this back to discussion with action.
Will do.
Okay, so maybe we need to move to executive
So motion
session.
fails. Thank you, Julie, for that. Jeez.
Okay.
Okay, we still have staff reports.
Upcoming council meetings.
Upcoming council meetings. Ms. City Clerk?
Okay, our next meeting is February 2nd, a study session where you will receive appointments from boards and commissions, discussion on dispatch, mobile vendors ordinance, Yakima County Homeless Strategic Plan, Catholic Charities seat application, FCS report, Radio Cadena, and a discussion on water meters. Tomorrow we'll be meeting in leadership, see if we can get this shorter. So that's all we have for now.
Okay.
Okay,
Next thing on the agenda.
so next thing on the agenda are staff reports.
Yeah.
City manager.
I'm gonna go to Monica Hofstetter. I think she's got something that she needs to say. And it's important. And then we'll start with you, Monica, because I know that it's been a long meeting.
It's been a long meeting.
No suspense.
Yeah. These are not.
I feel very put on the spot. So I've been working on the reconciliations for the bank accounts, and I had another accountant working with me, and she had been working in 2024. I was working in 2025, and we had been moving forward. And so as she was progressing through 2024, she does it all through Excel documents, gives them to me, I double check the work, and then I input them into our accounting system. So as we were going, I was getting really excited because it was going along smoothly and we got to March and I thought, well, I should just start closing years. Well, then that's when I realized that 2023 was out of balance. And so I had to reopen 2023. And I had to go all the way back to January of 2023 because that's when the out of balance started. And so I was able to actually balance 2023, close it, and then I've closed the first couple months into 2024. Yay. And as I was doing this, the person that's helping me was still moving forward because I was still throwing stuff at her as I was untangling another mess. She got to June and she called for a meeting and showed me June and said she was really confused about what she was seeing. And so I said, okay, well, let me take a look at June and just move forward to the July. So as I was going in and I looked at June, I realized that that was the month that the accounting software, they had tried to go from cash accounting into accrual accounting. And they started this in June. And then by August, they decided to go back to the accounting. That's correct, right, Jafet? It was June to August.
I can't remember exact dates.
Okay, but I know it started in June. So then when they went 2024. So when they went back to June and started shoving everything back in, because they had actually partly been working out of a different system and then out of our accounting system. All the utility billing was still getting done through our accounting system, but they were trying to do everything else in the new accounting system. And then eventually they were going to merge these two things. Well, they found that it was just going to be too difficult. So at some point they stopped, took everything they had been working out here, tried to shove it all back into our accounting system. While they did that, our staff was still inputting things. And when they told the staff that they were going to be doing this, the staff then just started putting things into the accounting system to where everything for the month of June started getting double booked. So what that caused was a $286,357.84 overage for the month of June 2024. So the reason why this is bad is out of that money, that $286,000, $224,090.50 of that came out of is directly for the general fund. The EMS fund was the other fund that was affected, and that was $62,267.34. To make this even worse, that means that the ending balance, the beginning balance for 2024 then would have shifted mid-year because it was double booked, meaning the ending balance is no longer what they thought it was going to be, meaning 2025's beginning balance was no longer what it should have been, meaning 2025's ending balance was no longer what it should have been, meaning that when I put $300,000 as a really conservative beginning balance for the general fund, we have now lost $224,090.50 out of that $300,000 beginning balance.
Ugh. I can't think of a word. Ugh is all I can come up with.
225?
$224,090.50. And the beginning balance was 300,000 for the general fund.
So Monica, what are our next steps?
So I'm going to continue working. I worked for 20 hours over the weekend because I'm dedicated to getting this finished so that we can really have some true numbers. When I looked in July and August, there was only a couple of things that were double booked. Those items were taxes, and so it was roughly around $20,000, between $17,000 to $20,000. I'm hoping that as I go further down the road that it's not going to continue and that it's going to get better. That being said, what I've had to do is reduce staff, meaning we went back down to one HR person. This was mentioned, I believe Mr. Bridges mentioned it to the mayor. And we are trying to get creative right now with our staffing so that I don't have to continue to do cuts. What that means is I have to move people into positions that the enterprise funds can cover their wages, and that it's lightening up the general funds load. So there's going to be some movements of positions to be able to do this. As I get further down the road, I'm going to reevaluate where we're at, and I'm trying to prevent any more loss of employees at this point.
Councilmember Dolan.
A question is, will you be drawing up the contracts for the use of this money from the enterprise funds and stating when this is going to be repaid and at what interest?
No, the employees will be moving to a position to where the enterprise funds are used. So for instance, our utility billing is, they 100% are for utilities. They're not doing finance stuff. They're doing utility billing. So the enterprise funds covers that role. So whenever
Without a contract.
Pardon me?
That covers that role without a contract.
Correct. They're employees.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And so that's what would happen is the roles of the employees would kind of switch, and we would shorten people's roles directly affecting the general fund and finance to where I would just probably take on a little bit more, but we would try and move things around a little bit to where the general funds, like the general fund's not eating a lot of the cost.
Are you getting a lot of pushback for that move?
Change is not easy. Change is not easy. So
that's a yes.
well, it can be difficult, and it, it can be difficult for change.
Any other questions? You did ask about next steps?
Yeah, so you did you explain your next steps, Monica?
Yeah, right now it's to move some employees around to try and lighten the load on the general fund. And then what I'm hoping that I can, my goal was, I had told Deputy Mayor Hart that my goal is mid-February to have 24 done. And I already have almost half of 25 done because I had been working on 25. So I've kind of had to go back and forth a little bit. But once I can get the June and July are the most really messed up months because everything being double booked. And then when they were putting the entries in, the lump sum entries aren't put in. It's like for the swimming pool, normally what would happen is they would collect all the funds and then they would book the entry in. Well, I have like a whole bunch of $1 or a whole bunch of just random amounts. And so they don't really match what the records are. So now I have to go back and find the paperwork and go by hard copies and try and figure out what that hard copy was for the day and do daily receipting from a hard copy piece of paper and try and figure out what happened with the systems merging.
Would at this point, would a forensic audit be more hindrance than helpful?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Possibly if it had been done a long time ago, it wouldn't be this bad.
Who's next?
Okay, well, I mean, with council's permission, I'd like to, forego reports from Corey Taylor, Jafet Silva, and Hector Mejia. They've sent theirs out via email, and I'd like to go straight to mine, if you don't mind.
Thank you guys for doing that, by the way. They're good reading and you tell us a lot. I just want to say that.
It is. And I'm only doing that because of the hour and we have other business to take care of, but particularly for me, a lot was said tonight. A lot was said last week. The support I received from staff to potentially be the next city manager. Last Friday, I informed Mayor Frosto that I chose to resign effective January 30th. I've enjoyed my time here with the city. I enjoy the work we do here at the city. I certainly am humbled by the support of the folks in the audience tonight and staff. I've offered, to my, to Ms. Fausto that, I live in Sunnyside. I'm not leaving Sunnyside. I'm just taking a job at another city. That if questions come up, feel free to call me. I'm still a resource that the city can use. So with that, I'd like to say thank you for the consideration by council, by the public for this, but I respectfully decline what I'm sure would have been a gracious offer. So thank you.
Thank you, Jim, for all the work that you have been putting forth for the city in the past 7 months.
And you're welcome. Thank you.
You've had so much support and you've just gone above and beyond the many times that I have talked with you, met with you. You've always been so straight up. I ask you a question. You don't wait around. You don't tell me I'll email you later. You say, come over here. I'll show you. And you've been just very, very direct. So thank you for that. Thank you for the energy. Thank you for the time. And it's just been really nice getting to know you. And I wish you the best in everything that you do and whatever city you go to, they're lucky.
I'd like to thank you, Jim, for your services and your knowledge. I appreciate having you as a mentor for this last few months. This is one of those situations where I'm appreciative that you're not leaving. You're just changing jobs. And because I know I will be calling you and and so I would really like to thank you for myself that you have really been an education for me.
And there's still work to be done by this week, so we'll get it done.
We'll get some stuff done, huh?
Thank you, Jim. Also, if I may, Mayor, my fellow council members said it just well. You're the perfect guy for Sunnyside. That's what we needed, the knowledge. You know what's going on in Sunnyside. The employees love you, and any city would be lucky to have you. And I'm sure they're gonna work you because you do have a lot of knowledge. So good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Hey, Jim, I want to just thank you also for what you brought to Sunnyside. Good luck on your next journey where you're at.
I'd also like to add that this man has been wearing 3 hats for us. I mean, if you consider $160,000 times 3, he's been there. He's the city manager, and yet he's out there with Public Works. I mean, they have nothing but praise for this man, all of them. And so another big thank you for all that.
Okay. Thank you for that. So now we have to move on to executive session and wrap it up. Julie, you'll be joining us, I believe, right?
Yeah, that was my plan.
We don't have a time on the executive session. What is the desire of council?
I don't know what's being discussed,
So
so
I have 2 items that are real estate related that'll probably take maybe 5 minutes total.
Okay,
we could start that.
Okay.
so I'll go ahead and read it and then we can decide on the time and then we can cut into.
Yeah, first, and then we can ask people.
So we will be going into executive session RCW 42.30.110(1)(c) to consider the minimum price at which real estate will be offered for sale or lease when public knowledge regarding such consideration would cause a likelihood of decreased price. However, final action selling or leasing public property shall be taken in a meeting open to the public, and RCW 42.30.1101G to evaluate the qualifications of an applicant for public employment or to review the performance of a public employee. However, subject to RCW 42.30.140 discussion by a governing body of salaries, wages, and other conditions of employment to be generally applied within the agency shall occur in a meeting open to the public and when governing body elects to take final action hiring, setting the salary of an individual, employee or class of employees, or discharging or disciplining an employee, the action shall be taken in a meeting open to the public. Possible action is expected. So we will go ahead and
So ask the public to leave.
Request.
Is everybody?
We're pretty much leaving.
Request how much
Everything
time?
out?
I think are we requesting
Doing-
what, Tim?
What are your
It's
plans?
on. Recording is on, unlocking the meeting. One moment. Okay, Mayor. We're ready.
No action.
No action. We're scheduling a meeting on Thursday
You have to announce.
with
it.
action.
You don't have to announce it. right?
I'm just,
You
there's
don't-
no
we can
action.
decide on that later.
You don't have to announce it.
Okay.
We didn't take any action.
Okay. So, there is no action. The council will reconvene because on Thursday at 4 PM or 2 PM.
2 p.m.
Sorry, it's been a lot of back and forth. To discuss the qualifications.
Yes.
The qualifications of an interim, city manager and, there should be possible action. There should be action actually that day. So Thursday at 2 PM,
Right back here.
right back here. Okay,
Okay.
meeting adjourned.